Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, June 29th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got some Saturday night baseball action for you. The Minnesota Twins versus the Seattle Mariners. Game number 2 in the set. First pitch is going to be here in about 10 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and we'll get into the starting lineups. Happy Saturday, y'all. Let's get it. I am ready. And on the thumb, on the left, you already know who it is, Carlos Correa. And on the right, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Tridents up. And let's get into the starting lineups first for your visiting Minnesota Twins. Leading off for the Twins at second base, Willie Castro. Batting second, DHing tonight for the Twins, Trevor Larnach. Batting third, playing shortstop, Carlos Correa. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Carlos Santana. Batting in the 5-hole, right fielder, Max Kepler. Batting sixth, playing third base, Jose Miranda. Batting seventh, playing center field, Byron Buxton. Batting eighth, catching tonight for the Twins, Ryan Jeffers. And batting ninth, playing left field, Austin Martin. And on the mound for the Twins with a 7-6 record, an ERA of 5.11, Pablo Lopez. And now let's get into the starting lineup for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Tridents up, baby. Let's go. We're going to need a big game from you today, JP. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Tridents up. Let's get it, baby. Let's get a streak going. Julio, we need you, baby. Let's get it. Batting third, the hero last night, the best clutch hitter in the 7th inning and beyond for the Mariners in the last 10 years, big dumper catcher, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. I always can count on Cal Raleigh late in games. You the man, baby. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing tonight for the Mariners, Mitch Garver. Batting fifth, playing left field tonight, Luke Raley. Batting sixth, playing first base for Seattle, Ty France. Batting seventh, playing second base for the Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Batting eighth, playing right field, Mitch Haniga. Batting ninth, playing third base for Seattle, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 6-6 record, an ERA of 3.90, it's Bryce Miller. It's Miller time, baby. Let's get it. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health, addiction, depression, anxiety. You know, these are things that a lot of us go through on the daily or have in the past. But if you make some minor adjustments to your daily routine, eat a little bit healthier, exercise a little bit more, listen to music, just doing those 3 simple things will help you get out of the darkness quicker, and it'll help you win the day. Big facts, baby. And if you were watching with me last night, you saw a thriller. We ended up winning 3-2 and 10 because of Cal Raleigh in the most Mariner way possible. You know, we find ways to win. It might get ugly at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, a dub is a dub. Big facts. Let's get it, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Let's try to get 20 likes within the first hour. And we're going to be shooting for 30 to 50 likes on every single stream. And we're always going to be shooting for 100 in the donos. Let's go. What's good, Matt? How's that weather in Hawaii treating you? What's good? Let's get to 100 in donos. Let them know. Here we go. Like, sub, donate, anything that you can do to help support the brand for the NWSF would be greatly appreciated. My boy Joe in the building. What's good? Let's go Dodgers. Fernando Valenzuela in the building. Joe, my guy, how are you? What's good? I saw that you posted last night staying at home, and I had to thumbs up it because that's what I do pretty much every day. I spend time with my pup. I grind on the channel. I do a lot of reading and film study, and spending time at home is definitely something that is underrated. Why go and spend money, where at the end of the day, it's not worth it, 9 times out of 10. Sometimes just having your peace of mind with yourself, or if it's with your son, sometimes just staying at home is the best bet. Great to see you in the room. My boy, Joe. Love you. Appreciate you. Go Dodgers. What's good, brother? Daniel in the building. What's good? Let's get it, baby. Captain Oreo in the building. Let's go. I'm ready for another Mariner win today. And if we win today, we'll have a chance at the sweep tomorrow. And they were thinking about having Luis Castillo pitch, right, on Tuesday against the Orioles, then Kirby, right, on Wednesday, and then when I go to the game on July 4th, Logan Gilbert. But what they decided is to push Luis Castillo's start for tomorrow. So if we win today, they're trying to sweep the Twins. They're trying to take care of business, right? No guarantee that we can end up winning it tomorrow with Castillo, but what does that mean for the Tuesday start, obviously, for the Mariners? Does that mean that we bring up Emerson Hancock, and then it's going to be Hancock, Kirby, Gilbert? Or are they going to end up making Kirby start on Tuesday, Logan Gilbert on Wednesday, and then I'll probably end up seeing Bryce Miller when I go to the game? I hope not, because like I said, I would rather see George Kirby or Logan Gilbert when I go to the game. No disrespect against Bryce Miller, but right now Bryce is probably our 4th or 5th best pitcher, and we'll see what happens here today. Hopefully the Mariners can find a way to get it done, but winning in the most Mariner way fashionable, yesterday, Cal Raleigh getting barely anything on his base knock. It was just an infield single, bounced a couple times, nothing special about it. JP ran from third to home. The throw from the first baseman was wild. JP slid into home, and we won the game. And we find ways to win in kind of the most ugly way possible. But again, when you're the worst hitting team, out of all the top 10 teams in baseball, and you strike out more than any other team in the MLB, you're going to have to find ways to be able to score runs and get hits in the most crucial moments. Cal Raleigh is the most clutch hitter for the Mariners in the 7th inning and beyond. Maybe one day that'll be Julio. But one thing I do know, Cal Raleigh needs to be a Mariner for life, and we need to throw everything at him. Throw the bag and then throw another bag at him. I want to make sure that, Cal Raleigh is appreciated. The catching position as a catcher is the hardest in baseball besides being a pitcher. And I feel with Cal, with the leadership, being a switch hitter, and being the hero 9 times out of 10 when we need a big hit, big home run, or a big RBI. We can't really count on Julio late in games. If anything, we probably think Julio is going to strike out, pop up, or ground out, which is not ideal. But when Cal is up, there's magic in the air. And we already know that we're going to have a very good chance to be able to tie it up, get an RBI to win the game, or maybe a solo dinger at the end of the game to give us that big lead or to be a walk-off. Let's go, baby. Let's go. And our record isn't very good when we score 3 runs or less. So we were very grateful yesterday, to be able to get that dub. But when we score 3 runs or less, our record is like 5 wins and like 40 losses. So we need to get to 4 runs. Normally it's 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, right? But it's Hawaiian shirt day here that they're doing a giveaway for the Mariners. Some extra motivation. They did the J.P. Crawford bobblehead night yesterday, right? So I need to find ways to manufacture hits and runs. The pitching matchup is a little bit more even today. It's not going to necessarily be a pitching duel. At least we wouldn't think so. So I think there is going to be a good probability that we can end up maybe having a 5-4 game or a 4-3 game, and I'm hoping for something like that, but we got to get the Mariners to 4 to 5 runs, at the bare minimum, because if it ends up being 1 or 2, we're going to lose. If we get 3, it's like chances are we're not going to be able to squeak it out, but sometimes we do, so we'll see where it goes. Let's go, baby. And on the mound for the Mariners, a 6-6 record, an ERA of 3.90. Probably our 4th or 5th best pitcher at this point if Emerson Hancock is coming up for Brian Wu. Bryce Miller. Let's go, baby. It's Miller time. And leading off for the Twins, a very underrated player at second base, Willie Castro. Batting second, DHing tonight, Trevor Larnach. And batting third, their best player, Carlos Correa. And I told you yesterday that these two players are going to be the impact guys, Carlos Correa and Carlos Santana. And if Santana didn't get robbed by Ty France and Jorge Polanco, he would have had an amazing day yesterday. We definitely got to limit the damage from Carlos Correa, Carlos Santana, and also Willie Castro. Those are going to be the 3 to keep an eye on here tonight. Let's go, baby. I'm ready. And if you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. And if you have a Twitter/X account, do your boy a solid and like and retweet the stream. Just like Matt did, I appreciate you. And hopefully we'll get a few more that will trickle into the room that will do the same. We've been getting about 4 to 6 like and retweets on the live streams, which is great. And let's try to get 20 likes within the first hour, if possible. And then let's go for 30 to 50 throughout the game. Let's go. And it looks like we got 17 people watching on YouTube, only 4 likes right now. So before the game starts, do your boy a solid, hit that like button. It takes 1 second, and that'll help our algorithm and our metrics dramatically. All right, so we got 6 likes out of 15 people watching. We got another 7 people watching on Twitter/X. So the faster that we can get to 10 would be greatly appreciated. So if you can do your boy a solid, smash that like button here within the first hour. Let's go, baby. Megan coming in with a 10er. Appreciate you. Apologize about the migraine, not doing too well, but I appreciate your love and support with me and Paisley. Stacks on stack, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for photos. I got you. I can do the regulars. First pitch to Willie Castro. Chop foul. 0-1 count. I like that. Let's go. Thank you so much. We're at 10, 90 to go. You're the true MVP of this channel, let me tell you. Let's go. 0-1 count to Willie Castro. Again, Carlos Correa, Carlos Santana, Willie Castro. If we end up losing today, it's going to be because of those 3 players more than likely. We have to find a way to be able to have Bryce hopefully go 6 innings, and 4 to 5 runs is key. But if we end up scoring 1 to 3, it's going to have to be one of those grinded out games. And again, when we score 1 or 2, our record isn't very good. 3 runs or less, we only have a couple wins and a big chunk of losses. So I'm hoping that we can end up having 4 or 5 runs or more for the Mariners tonight. 0-2 pitch for Bryce Miller. The Castro got him. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Getting off to a good start. Mariner Moose is out already. First K on Willie Castro. Good sign. Because as of right now, Brian Wu got hurt. Emerson Hancock will probably get called up. So Bryce Miller at this point is our 4th best pitcher out of 5. So, and he's kind of been in that spot, ever since he's gotten called up. Because most people feel that Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, and Luis Castillo are better, but Brian Wu ended up being better than him as well, which was a little bit of a surprise going into this year. But hopefully Bryce can find his control. Nice job getting that first punch out, Bryce Miller. It's Miller time. Next up for the Twins, Trevor Larnach, and he's DHing here tonight. Pitch is high, 2-0 count. Let's go, Zay in the building. What's good, brother? Who dat gonna beat them Saints? What's good, bro? Top of the first, 0-0 Twins and Mariners. And I love when we end up playing the Royals, Twins, and Guardians. It's like that sleeper, Central, that people don't really give the proper respect to, just like Seattle. So I really have a lot of deep appreciation for those teams in the Central. Orioles and Yankees are going to get all the love, and deservedly so. Juan Soto, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, the list goes on and on. Those are going to be always the popular teams. But sometimes it's those lower teams that are still good, that are still playoff teams that kind of get taken for granted. I like to be able to root for the underdogs, and I feel the Twins, the Mariners, and the Royals are the underdogs, and then the favored teams are obviously going to be the Guardians, the Orioles, and the Yankees, deservedly so, but never underestimate the underdogs because, again, at the end of the day, all it's going to take is an injury or two to the Guardians, Yankees, and Orioles for the Royals, right, the Twins and Mariners to take advantage. Facts. 2-2 pitch to Larnach, into the dirt. 3-2 count is full. All right, I got you. No problem. I ended up watching a little bit of the NHL draft. I'm pleased that we ended up, getting some positions that were in need. We definitely need centers and forwards. We need guys that can score goals. I saw we picked up a goalie to contend with Grew and some of the others, so that's always good. To be able to get another goalie in net to see what they can do. Throw to first, almost aired there by Polanco. Come on, baby. Don't be fucking up already, Jorge, against your former team. 2 away. Where's Ryan Bliss when you need him? And plus, we got other guys, with Colt and Cole, Lazaro Montez. We got a lot of guys, a couple infielders and a couple outfielders. So if we don't make a big trade for a big name like Alonso, Bobachad, Vlad Jr., or Luis Robert Jr., and we keep those guys are going to be implemented in the lineup sooner than later, Carlos Correa getting a lot of boos, the second most boos out of any MLB player besides, probably Jose Altuve. But there's a difference. Carlos Correa isn't really a D-bag. Like if you look at Altuve on the Stros, there's a reason why people boo him with the cheating and everything, wearing the buzzer, the garbage cans and all that. But it's kind of the way he portrays himself in the media. Carlos Correa is actually kind of misunderstood. Yeah, he was part of the cheating team, but I did see a few interviews of him on MLB Network. And even though a lot of fans hate him for what he ended up doing on the Astros, he's going to have a nice career on MLB Network as an announcer. Not necessarily a guy doing play-by-play or color, but just a guy that's, doing the pregame or postgame. He's very well-spoken, very intelligent, and that's what makes it shitty that he ended up being part of that cheating organization, because I actually think he's a kind of a solid dude. He gets a lot of boos, though. Big swing and a miss. 0-2 count on Correa. But he is the best player on the team overall. And obviously the Boo Birds are going to be out. It doesn't matter if you're not on the Astros anymore. People don't forget. Just like if Altuve left the Astros, they would boo him regardless of what team he is on. 0-2 pitch with a little hezzy. Hopefully he doesn't get called for a balk with that. What's good, Zay? Let's go, baby. Top of the first, 0-0 Twins and Mariners. And I sent you the post of all those Oregon Duck signings that we've been grabbing here, and it's way past the signing period. So we're getting a lot of commits, we're getting a lot of flips, and a lot of people that are going to be, playing with us, very soon or in the next few years based off the depth chart. But getting that running back was very, very solid. And if you look at that list, Matt, that I sent you, those are some pretty quality names. I don't know if you've done any research on those players, but pretty solid, guys to be picking up at this point of the year. 1-2 pitch to Correa. Chop that one foul. Nice souvenir for a Mariner fan. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Let's get to 20 likes in the first hour. And we're at $10 in the donos. 90 to go to hit the goal. Let's go, baby. And I think I got more of a problem with like Bregman and some of the other Astros and Altuve. I don't got anything against Jeremy Pena. I don't got anything against, with Kyle, but again, with some of the others, especially with Jose, that's the main culprit. Wild pitch into the backstop. But I love me some Kyle Tucker. I love me some Jeremy Pena. Yordan Alvarez is great. It's really Bregman, Altuve, and Correa. I think those are the ones that usually are going to get the most boo birds. And even Bregman doesn't get the boo birds like Correa and Altuve do. 2-2 pitch to Correa. Chopper. Polanco's there. Throw it to first. There we go. There we go. 1-2-3 inning. Nice inning for Bryce Miller, because you can definitely tell when Bryce is not on his game, he usually gives up 1 to 4 runs in the first 2 innings. So to get out of that inning unscathed, that's a great sign for the Mariners here early on, since this is our 4th or 5th best pitcher. Let's go, baby. Get some photos up here for Megan. Got you. We're at 10, 90 to go. And then after I go through these regulars later on, if there's something like Kraken or Seahawk related that you want to have on the post, here through the thread, you let me know and I got you. Everyone's got their favorite actors, actresses, rappers, bands, and whatever I can do to be able to give you a smile on your face, to give you good vibes and joy. That's what I'm about. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, baby. Pistol fingers up. I need a great game defensively, and we need your bat to be active. Let's go, J.P. Batting second, center fielder, no fly zone, Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, the hero last night, the most clutch hitter for the Mariners since Ichiro, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. When it's the 7th inning and on, there is not a better clutch player on the Mariners than Cal Raleigh. And hopefully when his contract is up, we give him a lot of this and a lot of that, because I want Cal Raleigh to be a Mariner for life. Based off like players that I like on this team, Cal's at the very top for me with Julio. So I want to make sure that we're rewarding one of the hardest positions to play in baseball, catcher. Switch hitter, got leadership. The guy has all the tools. He's already a top 5 catcher in baseball, even though other teams and fans don't recognize it just yet. Salvador Perez on the Royals, Adley Rutschman on the Orioles have a better average, right? But besides that, Cal is just as good as those other 2 players. Salvador is kind of going to the end of his career, and Adley Rutschman is at the beginning of his career, like Cal Raleigh. But as the Mariners continue to get better and better each year, and if we can go further and further in the playoffs, and Cal keeps making big, big plays, eventually people will catch on. Cal, JP, Julio, yeah, baby. There we go. JP getting it started early. He took the message that I gave him, and he delivered. Nice single right out of the gates on Lopez. Let's go, JP. And when JP gets going early, that's usually a good sign for this next hitter, Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Julio. Northwest green, wearing those teals. Let's get it. Thank you for liking the stream on the Twitter/X site as well, Megan. Appreciate you. See where we're at right now. We're at 11 likes. We got 26 people in the building on the YouTube side, another 12 or 13 on the Twitter/X side. They got no like button over there. So if you are watching, do your boy a solid. Smash the like button. And if we can get 20 out of the 26 to like it, we're already hitting the goal in the first hour. Let's go. Takes 1 second. Bottom of the first, 0-0 Twins and Mariners. And it does really make a difference getting 30 to 50 likes instead of 20 to 25. We can almost double our views just based on people doing that. I put in different tag words. I'm, obviously getting more support from you guys. And then instead of getting 300 to 600 views, we're getting 800 to 2,000 views. So, when people think, well, the like doesn't matter, it really does. And it will help, in the algorithm and the metrics, and also recommendations for people that are browsing YouTube to watch a baseball game with us. 1-2 pitch. It's wild. There we go. JP to second base off a wild pitch from Lopez. Woo! I like it, baby. Let's go. And this is a game that we can definitely win. Pablo Lopez, 7-6 record, ERA of 5.11. But with that being said, we can make anyone look like a Cy Young candidate. So we got to get these bats going early and often. Let's go Mariners. Come on, Julio. Give me some juice, baby. Give me that electricity, baby. Julio up the middle. Throw to first. One away. But the runner advances to third. J.P. Crawford at third base. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. And I know a lot of people wanted Julio to be like that best player on the team, the face of the franchise. You know we have a top 5 pitching staff. You know, and again, if you really look at it, the MVPs this year for the Mariners, number 1, Cal Raleigh, right? Number 2, probably Logan Gilbert, and George Kirby's getting closer. And then number 3, Andres Munoz, even though as of late he hasn't been as sharp. But if you had to name one player that's been the handily MVP of the team, I would say it's Cal Raleigh. I mean, the pitching staff, has their ups and downs. Munoz has had their ups and downs. Yeah, Cal Raleigh's, batting average sucks. It's only 201. But the 14 homers and 50 ribbies and those big, big hits late in games to help us win, no other player on the Mariners has helped us win single-handedly more games this season than Cal Raleigh. I could think of at least 5 or 6 games that he has single-handedly won for us already, and we're only about halfway through the season. Huge. Let's go, baby. Pitch is inside, 2-2 count. No worries. You take care of you. Oh, yeah. McCormick is a punk ass, too. He's tried to injure us a couple times running to first base. Absolutely. Jacob in the building. What's good? Big swing and a miss. There goes Cal Raleigh. It's okay, Cal. I still love you. 2 away. Plus, Cal comes up big late in games, not necessarily in the beginning of games. Next up, PHing for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Let's go, M's. And again, this is probably the most excited I've been, for a Seattle Mariner team in a long, long time. Obviously in 2022, we had hopes that we were going to break the streak, but we didn't really know until that last regular season game when Cal went yard and then we made it. But obviously expectations have gotten a lot higher since then. Now we're expected to make the playoffs, and I think a lot of Mariner fans want to have the expectation of being first place in the American League West. And I know that's kind of aggressive, going into the year against the Stros and the Rangers, since those teams have won World Series. But look at us. We're not perfect by any means. We're the worst hitting team, out of all the good teams in baseball, and we're still in first place. So we still find ways to win ugly, but at the end of the day, we're winning games. Facts. 0-2 pitch to Garver. Pitch is high. 1-2 count. Let's go, baby. Jacob in the building, Reflect in the building. Let's go. Go M's. Big swing and a miss. There goes Mitch Garver. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Pablo Lopez, and we leave one stranded. That's tough. Hopefully that doesn't happen too often. Let's go, Mariners. End of the first inning, 0-0 Twins and Mariners. Ugly win is still a win. Very true. It is, and you'll take it, especially when your team struggles. You'll take a win any way you can get it. And I know you're not feeling too well, so we'll throw up a little Pete for you. Lighten the mood a little bit. I know you might not be here for that much longer, but while you're here, we'll make sure that we'll throw up a few Pete's up for you. Hopefully that'll make you feel a little bit better. And I like the draft that the Kraken had. Obviously, I'm not familiar with every single name that got drafted. Most Kraken fans, are familiar a little bit, unless you're watching a lot of like WHL or some of the lower leagues and whatnot. But we'll see what kind of chemistry we can have with the roster. And from a lot of the, quote unquote experts or people that saw the draft, most of them, grade the Kraken draft pretty good. A lot of upside, and hopefully we got the right guys to compete. And again, we just need better guys in net to compete with the guys that we already have, and we need guys that can score goals. We need centers and forwards, and obviously getting another guy like Brandon Tanev would be great. And I saw that we drafted a couple defensemen as well. Might not be a guy like Brandon Tanev, but we can always hope, and hopefully we can end up finding our way into the playoffs next year. Let's go. Carlos Santana up next. Hope you enjoyed those. We definitely got to make sure we're watching out for Carlos Correa, Carlos Santana, Willie Castro. If we can minimize the damage with those three guys, we're going to have a chance here tonight. Top of the second, 0-0. Bryce Miller, 1-0 pitch to Carlos Santana. What's up with Bryce Miller's little hezzy with his leg there? I feel that every time he does it, he's going to get called for a balk or something. Something new that he kind of has added to his kind of pitching repertoire. I'm not sure if I like it or not. Because obviously, if they can kind of judge, your formation, and he doesn't do the hezzy every pitch. He does the hezzy like here and there. So as long as he's not getting called on a balk for it, I'm fine with it. And obviously, if he's getting strikes as well. Yeah, we got a couple teammates that were from the Spokane League or Spokane team, in the WHL there. So definitely excited about that, and I'm hoping that these guys can get implemented in the lineup once they're ready. And again, we need plenty of guys to help out with Jared McCann and Bjorkstrand and Matty Beniers. And again, we might be drafting another guy in net almost every year or every other year to give us the best chance to find the next big thing in net. Not that we don't like, some of the guys that we've had in net, in the last year and a half. But again, we need to be better, obviously, in net, and we need to score more goals. Facts. 2-2 pitch is low by Bryce Miller to Santana. 3-2 count. Yeah, can't wait to see the newbies in camp, and I definitely will be paying attention as well. And anything that you have information-wise, I know you'll send it to me. So 3-2 pitch to Carlos Santana. Yeah, I got you. Big swing and a miss. Got him. Bryce looks sharp early. Let's go. And again, when Bryce is struggling, you're going to know it. He'll give up 1 to 4 runs in the first 2 innings. So if he can come out unscathed in the first 2 innings with a 0, or maybe at 1 at the very least, we're in business. There we go, Bryce. Nice job. You got to understand that Bryce now is probably our 4th best pitcher if Emerson Hancock is getting called up. Luis Castillo was supposed to start on Tuesday, game 1 of the Orioles, then Kirby Wednesday, Gilbert Thursday. Kepler. In between Julio and Haniger. Throw it. Nice hit by Kepler there. Stand-up double for Max Kepler. I see you, Mad Max. Next up, third baseman in the 6 hole, Jose Miranda. Let's go, Mariners. Yeah, with a lot of the young guys, it kind of depends on their development and obviously the different line changes they have, and if they can find the right combination of players playing together and it meshes well. You may get some of the rookies that we drafted yesterday and today right away, like Megan said, right? But not everyone is going to be like a Connor Bedard, like a superstar player that you're going to implement right away. And some are going to get limited time, and then others we might have to wait a year or two. But, for the guys that got drafted later on. But for the guys that got drafted in the first couple rounds, chances are we're going to probably end up seeing some action out of them early. At least that's what the reports are saying, based on, everything on the Seattle Kraken news and the outlets. So, but again, we're still going to have to see practice, and we're still going to have to, see them play and the chemistry. And hopefully we end up making the playoffs next year based off these picks that we made this year. Top of the second, 0-0, Twins and Mariners. Runner at second, Kepler. Big swing and a miss for Miranda. Bryce looks like he's on his game, baby. Let's go. 1-1 count. Come on, Bryce. And I really do like the idea of them picking up teammates, from college or, from a different league like the WHL, like, obviously from the team there in Spokane. So a lot of those guys that were playing in Spokane, they played at Climate Pledge already, on some of the games where the Kraken had a road game where they would play some games there. So they're familiar with the building already. So it's very cool to be able to see some of these local kids get drafted that are already familiar with the Kraken, and hopefully it ends up working out. We can root for them as local kids. 1-2 pitch. Chopper foul by Miranda. Count remains 1-2. Top of the second, 0-0, Minnesota and Seattle. Runner at second, 1-2 pitch. Pitch is inside, 2-2 count. Two pitch. Miranda pops it up behind the plate, foul. Count remains 2-2. Let's go, Bryce. Let's go, Ems. 2-2 pitch. Miranda in between the gap again. And that's going to score a run. 1-0 Twins. Come on, Bryce. There's the run I was talking about. 1-4 runs within the first 2 innings. And if the bleeding stops here, we're going to be fine. But if he keeps giving up more hits and more runs, it's going to be a long night. And then we're going to be forced to get 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get that here tonight. I hope we do, but we'll find out. Nice base knock, RBI by Jose Miranda. Next up for the Twins, center fielder Byron Buxton, who didn't play yesterday, Ryan Jeffers, who didn't play yesterday, and Austin Martin, who didn't play yesterday. So we should be able to beat this team with this particular lineup. It's not the Minnesota's strongest lineup, but again, Bryce Miller on the mound, Pablo Lopez on the mound. They're both about 500. They both give up about 5 runs a game. So we don't really know what's going to happen, and it's going to be up to the bats to see who ends up winning this game, not necessarily the pitching, I feel, today. I think both pitchers are going to do okay, but again, at some point, the bullpen is going to come into play, and hopefully both pitchers don't give up too much. Otherwise, it might be too much to come back from. Top of the second, 1-0 Twins. 0-2 pitch. Chop foul. Yeah, and I'm not familiar with the Spokane, the team itself. I haven't watched games of them before, but I have watched Coachella. Obviously being the main team underneath the Kraken, and they've been fucking solid the last couple years. So if Megan says Spokane is right there with Coachella, then that's a good sign for us. And then hopefully we can develop these guys to the best of our ability. And anytime you can get a guy that's from the hometown state or close, like an Oregonian or someone from Washington, and you're going to end up being a part of the Pacific Northwest, it ends up being kind of special. Extra motivation to root for that guy. 1-2 pitch. Buxton hits that one hard towards third base, foul. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Let's go, baby. We got 37 people in the room, and if the game is close, as the game gets a little bit further along, we will have 75 to 100 in the building. We got 17 likes. We need 3 more to hit the goal to get to 20 in 20 minutes. We can do that. And then we want to hit 30 to 50 for the game. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is outside to Buxton. 2-2 count. And speaking of guys that were really hyped up earlier in their career that maybe never really lived up to the expectations of being the best quality player they could be based off injuries, is this guy right here, Byron Buxton. Very highly touted, was supposed to be one of the top 10 players in baseball, kind of like a Julio Rodriguez when he first came up, but injuries have plagued his career, and he's never really been able to stay healthy. Popped up. There we go, 2 away. And I kind of feel bad for Buxton because he doesn't even start every game. He's one of those like rotational guys now more often than not, which is really a damn shame. Hopefully he'll get healthy and he'll get better as the years go on. Next up for the Twins, catcher Ryan Jeffers. Jeffers fouls that one back. 0-1 count. Gotta watch out for Jeffers. Chopper towards third base foul. 0-2 count. Leads team in home runs and RBIs this season. Go, baby. Top of the second, 1-0 Minnesota. Runner at first, 2 outs. Let's stop the bleeding. Come on, Bryce. 0-2 pitch. Third K for Bryce. Bryce is on it today. He gave up the run, but I can still be okay with that. He's got 3 Ks to give up 1 run. And, you know, with all things considered, with the Mariners pitching, you know, as of late, sometimes good, sometimes really bad. Bullpen, sometimes good, sometimes really bad. We'll take that. I mean, this is our 4th best pitcher. So 6-6 record, ERA of 3.90. Nice job. It's Miller time. Wish he wouldn't have given up that RBI, but I mean, it's baseball, right? What are you going to do? The Twins are an amazing team, 47-37, second place in the AL Central. And then we got the 46-37, or 40, is it 45 or 46? 45-37 Minnesota Twins, 47-37 Seattle Mariners. Let's go. Record very similar to each other. Let's get it, baby. Squeeze in a few for you. Pablo Lopez on the mound, 7-6 record, an ERA of 5.11. So pretty identical, stat line, for Pablo Lopez and Bryce Miller. His ERA is about a run higher, so we should be able to do some damage at some point, and hopefully we can end up winning this game 4-3 or 5-4. Let's go. Next up for the Mariners, left fielder Luke Raley. Love me some Luke. Batting second this inning, first baseman Ty France. And batting third, it's Polo, Jorge Polanco. No problem, I got you. Go, Luke. But right now, I feel like my top 5 Mariners that I'm really liking what they're doing right now. Obviously, Cal Raleigh, Luke Raley, Julio will get there, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, and then hopefully we can add JP and a few others to that list. And I'm hoping that we can get some Trevor. I hope we can get some Tyler Locklear as well as Ryan Bliss integrated in the lineup sooner than later as well. Let's go, Raley. go Luke. 1-2 pitch. Rayleigh. Just foul. Let's go Luke. 1-2 pitch. Rayleigh fouls that one off. Behind the plate. 1-2 count still. Let's go Luke. I like Luke Rayleigh with his work ethic. You know, I really admire people that work hard for their dreams, and they just are a hard-working person, male or female, doesn't matter. You know, if you're a very hard worker, you know, I can get behind that. You know, I really try to show people like how hard you really have to work, you know, for your dreams to come true, you know, or whatever project that you got, you know, in your own life. You know, if you're going to be cutting corners, you're never going to be able to hit the goal. You got to be able to dig deep and do the things that others aren't willing to do. And Luke Rayleigh is just a hustle guy, and I like that. He puts in a lot of effort, you know, behind the scenes with Cal Raleigh, and obviously them being good buddies, and obviously rubbing off on each other, you know, with those good work habits and those good work ethic type of you know, traits that you would want in a baseball player. And I think that Luke has been a success here for the Mariners, and I hope he's on Seattle for a long time. I really like him. And you'll always notice he runs hard to first every single time. Probably the only Seattle Mariner that does that. I don't think I've seen Luke not run hard to first at all so far that he's been here as a Seattle Mariner. You know, and if we had every player that had that kind of mentality, I mean, how many extra base hits would we be able to squeak out? Maybe at least one every game, just by just hustling to first, even when it looks like you're out. 2-2 pitch. Rayleigh. Let's go. There's a reason why you're in my top 5, baby. Yeah, baby. Luke. Let's go, baby. Luke Nukem, baby. Nice job, Luke Rayleigh, my boy. Love you. Next up, first baseman, Ty France. Let's go, baby. Ty is very inconsistent, but he can definitely get an occasional home run once in a while. But in this particular situation, we don't even need a home run. We just need a solid RBI or to move the runner over. Pitch is high and outside, 1-0 count. And Rayleigh's always going to grind out those at-bats as well. You know, if you just pay attention to each player and, you know, the little extra things about what makes that player great and why they're successful. Pitch is outside, called a strike, even though it should have been a ball. 1-1 count. Let's go, baby. Luke Rayleigh should be an everyday player in left field. Stop fucking with him, right? Hollywood Josh Rojas should be an everyday third baseman. There is not anybody else on the team that can play third base or left field better than those two guys. And they have good bats. So if you're going to get defense out of those guys and you're going to get bats out of those guys, why do we have these others that are platooning with them? It doesn't make any sense. No disrespect to Canzone or Dylan Moore, but if you're really looking at it, double play for Ty France, 2 away. But if you want to have the best chance to be able to have the best lineup game in and game out, unless those guys have a day off, Luke Rayleigh should always be in left field, Julio at center. We need a right fielder, right? And third base should be Hollywood Rojas. And if they want to have him batting ninth to get the rest of the order going, you know, he was batting 300, 350 from the 9 hole. I don't mind it. But that's what they should do. And they definitely need to consider replacing Polo at second, Haniger in right field, and obviously Ty France at first. And I'm not saying permanently, but they need to be able to give them some competition to see who is the best player at those positions, because those are the positions that we're the weakest at. We're weak at first, we're weak at second, and we're weak in right field. But the thing is, defensively, right, guys like Canzone and Haniger are good at defense in right field. But as far as hitting, not so much. We need guys that can hit a little bit better and to give us that good balance. Big facts. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Twins. 1-1 pitch to Polo. Line drive. And there it is. 3 up and 3 down. The Luke Rayleigh at bat was wasted. And we can't be wasting these guys on base. We already had one stranded with JP and then another stranded with Luke Graley. We have to find a way to get more than one hit an inning. We need to be able to get a hit, another hit, and then another hit, so that way we can actually put ourselves in a position to get at least one run to come in, instead of just getting one hit and then the drive dies. And when you strike out as much as the Mariners do, and you don't really get to move guys over that often, every at-bat counts. End of the second, 1-0 Twins. Judah in the building, what's good? Brandon in the building, what's good? I'm good, man. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday night. Great to see you guys. See who's up next for the Minnesota Twins. Next up for the Twins in the 9-hole, left fielder, Austin Martin. Batting second baseman, 0 for 1 with a K, Willie Castro. Really like Willie's game. He's solid as a player. And batting third, DHing for the Twins today, Trevor Larnach. So we need to keep our eye on Willie, Carlos Correa, Carlos Santana, and then we'll see if Ryan Jeffers comes to play. And Kepler already had a nice hit already. So about half of the lineup, it seems like they, might be doing something at some point either today or tomorrow. And we got that big win yesterday, 3-2 in the most Mariner fashion. A little bloop, single by Cal Raleigh, throw to home to JP to tag him out was wild. He slides in and we win 3-2. But again, that's the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes it's ugly, but it's a win and we'll take it. And they did have some amazing celebration photos last night. And, Cal Raleigh has got some of the best photos of the Mariners so far in 2024. Let's go, baby. We got 51 people in the building. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Where are we at? We got 30 people on the YouTube side, 20 plus on Twitter/X. Where are we at on the likes? We're at 18. So we need 12 more of y'all to smash the like button. Throw to first, one away. We need 11 more to smash the like button, and then we'll be at our goal at 30. We're at 19. So there's 11 of y'all that have access to the YouTube like button. Do your boy solid. One more, and we're at 20. 11 more, we're at the goal. We're at 30. Let's go. Let's get those likes. We need one more to hit the goal in the next 9 minutes. And the people on Twitter/X have no comment button, no like button, no dono button. The only thing they can do is watch the stream or donate on Cash App. So again, we need to make sure the people on the YouTube side help, so that way we can get more recommendations, more subs. We're approaching 4 million views. We're going to probably hit it on the channel probably within a month, maybe sooner, which is very exciting. I've been grinding for a long time on this channel, 12 years. This is my 8th year on YouTube, but I've been grinding for 12, streaming on other platforms and whatnot. So we want to make sure that we're moving on up. Let's go. Top of the third, 1-0 Twins. One away. Next up, Willie Castro. Austin, not today, baby. Big swing and a miss. Let's go. Willie Castro, goodbye. I like that. Nice punch out. Next up, DHing for Minnesota, Trevor Larnach. Bryce Miller, baby, he's on. Bryce Miller, 2.2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 0 walks, 4 Ks, baby. Good start. Keep it going, Bryce. Oh for 1 with a ground out in the first for Larnach. Pitch in the zone for a strike, 1-1 count. Thank you, Judah. Appreciate you. Yeah, 100% agree with you. Frustrating. We just need a better player, at that position. We need a better play at second. I think Ryan Bliss is better than Polo. Obviously, I know with, Ty France and what he, brings to the team and whatnot. Again, I don't want him not on the team, but I just want to make sure that, these guys like Polo and Haniger and France are pushed to the limit. So that way, if they can't step up, then someone else needs to be able to take some of their, playing time. maybe not all together, but at least split up the time. And those are the positions that need to be platooned, if you're really being honest about it, instead of some of the other positions that they take a focus on in platooning. Stop fucking with left field and third base and let Luke Raley and Rojas have those spots. And if we actually made those guys the everyday left fielder and third baseman, I think we would have like 4 more wins right now. But again, I get it. We got to sprinkle in Canzone and Demo and all these other guys so that way they don't feel left out. But at the end of the day, if they're struggling, we got to put the best bats and the best defense out there to win, right? It's right down the middle for a strike. I mean, at this point, it's all on paper, and let's be honest, even Kraken diehards, a lot of them don't even know who these players are. They may have heard of them, but maybe never watched them. So, again, everything is just speculation right now and on paper. Double play, force out at second. We already had 2 outs. Let's go. But hopefully it works out for us. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Twins. And it's not like I hate Polo or I hate Haniger or hate France, because I don't, but it just gets frustrating when you don't really see improvement, in some of those positions and whatnot. And I honestly could say if I have a dislike, I want to say hate, because I don't really hate anybody in MLB except for maybe Jose Altuve. That's like the only player that I've ever not really liked, him and Alex Rodriguez, just those two, right? But as far as a guy that maybe I dislike, I would say the number 1 guy on the team right now that I dislike is Polanco. I feel that was a mistake. But, Garv is not too far behind him. And obviously Haniger was decent at the beginning of the year, but not so much as of late. But I don't really dislike Haniger. I don't really dislike Garv. At least Garv has made some plays. But I would say that, if I have a shit list, I would say Polo is probably at the top, as far as like a player that I want replaced immediately. And obviously, if he goes to AAA or has to share time with Ryan Bliss, that wouldn't hurt my feelings one bit, considering I think Bliss is better, But even though he's young, and I get it, you paid all the money for Polo, so it's kind of political, But at the end of the day, if you're a liability on defense and you're not really that good of a bat, I mean, how long are you going to suffer with a player, until you make a change? We'll see. But hopefully Haniger, Ty France, and Polo can raise their game, and then they won't be on a lot of the fan base's shit list, on, oh gosh, we got to replace these guys now. But when we have an amazing farm system, that's the only reason why that we're talking about, maybe giving other guys a chance, because we have like 8 guys in the top 100, and we've never had that. So that's the big reason. It's not like we're just hating on these players for no reason. It says we've given them a lot of time to show what they can do. Polo has been injured, so he hasn't really had a fair chance to show exactly what he could do all the way so far, but not really any excuses for Haniger or France at this point in the season. But hopefully they get better. Fingers crossed. Haniger pops up. That one goes foul. 1-1 count. Man, I mean, there's a lot that I would like to pick up. I mean, lower name guys, Brent Rooker from the A's, Brian De La Cruz, on the Marlins as lower name guys. If we did pull the trigger on Luis Robert Jr., Pete Alonso, Bo Bichette, or Vlad Jr., I guess I would have to look to see what the compensation would be. But it would be cool to have like a big popular player come over just as long he was good at defense and the bat was good. We don't want to trade, 3 guys out of the top 100 and then bring in a guy like Pete Alonso and then he gets a fucking injury like a quad and then he's out for the year and then we wasted it. Haniger, back. Gone! There we go. That's how you get on, not the shit list. There we go. Mitch. Woo! There we go. Nice job, Haniger. He heard us talking about him and he said, you know what, Orion, you're right. I have been the worst rated outfielder in baseball and it's time for a change. Mitch Haniger with a dinger, baby. Let's go. Probably the least likely guy that you would think that would go yard for the Mariners, Mitch Haniger, as of late. Great job, Mitch. Thank God. I was getting worried. I feel we haven't really seen a good game out of Haniger in like a month and a half. There we go. Sometimes it's guys that are the least likely heroes that have been slumping and slumping and slumping and slumping and sucking, and then finally they find their way. Nice job, Mitch Haniger. Good job. We needed that desperately too. Hell yeah. Next up, Hollywood Josh Rojas. Now, hopefully he can keep that momentum going. Let's go. Rojas, little blooper. So now we're starting to see how good Hollywood Josh Rojas is in the 9-hole. He has been absolute money there, so we need to make sure we keep him there. And if we do, he'll be the first player above 300 for us sooner than later. Obviously, Ryan Bliss was close. Rojas did 300, 350 earlier in the year, but then dipped a little bit. So I think that finding that Rojas is perfect in the 9-hole, we need to keep him there. He has been amazing since we moved him to the 9-hole. Nice job by Haniger. You're the man. Rojas, nice job. Next up, J.P. Crawford. Let's go. Let's go. Bring that electricity, baby. Hell yeah. Good shit. I'm super happy for Mitch, too, because, again, he was the lowest rated outfielder in baseball, based on some of the statistics that I was seeing. And I was thinking, shit, man, I mean, you're going to be definitely looking to upgrade that position or to give him some competition. He already has Canzone and Luke Raley and Dylan Moore that he's battling with. But, sometimes, you just got to be able to stick with it. And great job by Mitch to be able to tie the game up 1-1. Nice job. Oh-2 pitch. Pitch is inside. 1-2 count. They're in the building. What's good? Go Dodgers. One-two pitch. Throw to first. Rojas is safe. Miles in the building. What's good? Bottom of the third, 1-1, Twins and Mariners. J.P. Crawford chops that one foul, 1-2 count. If you're just tuning in the top of the second, Jose Miranda singled to center. Kepler scored 1-0 Minnesota. Bryce Miller has been pitching well, though, as our fourth best pitcher so far today. Right? And then Haniger, just a couple minutes ago, homered to left center unexpectedly, 383 feet. It wasn't a bomb, but it was enough. And now we're tied up at 1, and that gave us a lot of momentum, obviously, right now at this point of the matchup. Let's go. Nice job, Mitch. Nice job, Rojas. AP. Now we need the third guy to come through. We have a very hard time of having 3 guys in a row get on, either with a home run, single, double, triple. Make it happen. Because if JP gets on, we're going to have a good chance to score another 1 or 2 runs this inning. Let's go, JP. And there was JP Crawford bobblehead night. They won 3-2 and 10. And today they do the Seattle Mariner Hawaiian t-shirt giveaway, a little button-up. I'm a little jealous. It's fire. 2-2 pitch. Chopper. Run, run, run! It could have been a double play, but it was just out of reach for Correa there. Moves the runner over to second, 1 away. I'll take that, JP. Next up, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. 0 for 1, no fly zone. Let's go, J-Rod. Seems like we've been saying that game in and game out, but at some point in summer, right, he's going to heat up, and he'll end up having a few games of 2 for 4, 3 for 4, 3 for 5. Let's go. Trident's up. Come on, Julio. First pitch foul. 250 batting average, 7 homers, 29 ribbies. He's only pacing for about 15 home runs, and he'll be batting probably somewhere between 240 and 270 throughout the season. But again, he's good enough to be a 300 hitter, and he's good enough to be a 30-30 member, 30 stolen bags and 30 home runs. But again, definitely behind the 8 ball a little bit this season. One pitch. Pitch is high and away. 2-1 count. Go, J-Rod. Pitch is low and outside. 3-1 count. Three-one pitch. Julio. Kepler is there for a line out. Rojas tags up and goes to third. 2 away. Next up, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. See where we're at on the likes right now. We just passed the 1 hour moment 5 minutes ago. Where are we at? We're at 25. We need 5 more. We got 36 people watching on YouTube, only 26 likes. So there's 10 of y'all that haven't done it just yet. Please do. And then we got another 20 or 30 watching on Twitter/X. Let's go. 4 more to get to 30. First pitch fouled off by Cal Raleigh. 200 average, 14 homers, 50 ribbies, and really the only thing that you can complain about Cal Raleigh is the batting average needs to be a little higher. It needs to be 250 to 300. And once it gets to 250, 300, then he's going to be an all-star every single year. You know, Salvador Perez is getting a little old, and then he'll be right there with Adley Rutschman. You know, so again, it's the hardest position to play in baseball, in my opinion. You know, pitcher is tough, but being a catcher, I don't think people realize how much of a grind it is. You know, and especially to be a good, effective catcher, defensively and offensively. Got to have a lot of qualities to be able to check off all those boxes. Pitches inside, 1-2 count to Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Best clutch hitter the Mariners have had since Ichiro Suzuki. And especially in the 7th inning and beyond, you know, there's one guy that you know that will come up big 9 times out of 10, and it's Cal Raleigh. He single-handedly won us 4 or 5 games already this year, more than any other player on the Seattle Mariners by a handful. Bottom of the third, 1-1, Twins and Mariners. Runner at third with 2 away. 2-2 count to Cal Raleigh. Let's go, big dumper. RBI time, baby. Mike Zunino, yeah. I mean, we've had some pretty good catchers, you know, Dan Wilson and a few others, but I think that, you know, if Cal stays with the Mariners for, like, let's say 15 years, I think based off, you know, if we have him for his whole career, he'll easily be the best catcher in our team history. Easily. And to me, I think he's already, you know, to most people, already a top 5, top 10 catcher already. So if he can get that batting average up, instead of being, you know, one of the top 5, maybe he can actually challenge guys like Salvador Perez and Adley Rutschman for, you know, one of the top spots. You know, maybe being the number 2, number 3, number 4 catcher, maybe possibly one day. You know, he's not there yet, but I still think he's a top 5 catcher right now. And really the only statistic that you can really say, you know, that's low is the batting average, but everything else, throwing batters out, you know, defensively, his numbers are great at the top of the board. You know, he's a switch hitter. He's got good leadership. He's got good work ethic. He's another coach, you know, besides the manager out there to make sure the pitchers don't get depressed or lose their swagger or aura or vibe. You know, he's good with the home runs and the RBIs, and he's made more big moments for Mariner victories than any other player that I can remember, you know, in the last 10 or 15 years. Like, if you're really thinking about players that came up big, you know, we think of Ken Griffey Jr., we think of Ichiro, and then now it's Cal Raleigh. which a lot of people thought it would be automatically Julio Rodriguez after coming in as Rookie of the Year in 2022, but he's regressed a little bit this year. Not saying that that's where he's going to be for the rest of his career, because if we want the Mariners to be world champs one day, we're going to need Cal and Julio to be great. Facts. Let's go. Omar in the building. What's good? Pitch is low and into the dirt. We'll take the walk, baby. 8-pitch walk. That's discipline, baby. Nice job, Cal. Runners on the corners now, and now you're having a mound visit. Next up for the Mariners, DHing for Seattle, Mitch Garver. It's going to be exciting to see where this team goes. And, obviously me being the main guy doing, Mariner broadcasts, on YouTube, as the team gets better and better and better, the viewership is going to get bigger and better. And I can't wait to see where this team goes. I feel like the next 15 years are going to be very magical here for not only this channel, but for the Seattle Mariners. Especially if we can end up making the playoffs like 12 out of the next 15 years. How amazing that would be. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Shout out to my boy Marcos Pineda, the only one on my Facebook friends that lives in Oregon that actually supports me like through and through and will like share my posts and actually watches. Shout out to Marcos. He's a real one. Appreciate you. Kenji Jojima, another sleeper name. We got 64 people in the building. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. We need 2 more of y'all to smash the like button and we'll be at 30. We're at 28. Now we're at 29. We need 1 more. We got 11 of y'all, 40 people watching on YouTube, 29 likes. So we need 11 more. And then we got 25 on Twitter/X watching the broadcast. Go M's. Wow, yeah, I know Paisley's going to turn 3 next month in August, like in mid-August. It's wild. You just make sure that you're spending as much time as you possibly can and, making sure that they have the best possible life. Because, again, every week, every single day that you live is a week for a dog. So make sure that you're doing all you can to make sure Bandit's life is great. Bottom of the third. Runners on the corners. Pitches high and inside. Cal Raleigh with a stolen bag. Cal, baby. Look at him smile. Cal's like 5 for 5 in stolen bags this year. Look at him stop and then he go back trotting into second. He'll take it. 4 for 4 this season. Pitches outside, 3-2 count. We got runners at second and third. And we don't want to leave these guys stranded over and over and over. We already left JP stranded. Then we had another batter stranded. And now this will be the first inning that we've had 2 stranded instead of 1 in the first and 1 in the second. Luckily, we got the Mitch Haniger home run. 3-2 pitch. And there goes Garver. We leave 2 stranded, but at least the damage was done, and we're tied up 1-1. Cal Raleigh, 4 for 4 in stolen bags. My boy. End of the third inning. We're knotted up at 1. See who's up next for the Minnesota Twins. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Next up for the Twins, 0 for 1 with a K, the former Mariner, first baseman Carlos Santana. Batting second, 1 for 1, right fielder Max Kepler. And batting third, 1 for 1 with an RBI, third baseman Jose Miranda. Let's go Mariners. Take a look at the pitching stats while we're in a commercial break here. Take a look at Pablo Lopez first. 3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 66 pitches, 41 strikes, ERA of 5.04. Came into the game with a 7-6 record, 5.11 ERA. Pablo Lopez. Let's take a quick look at Bryce Miller's stat line so far. Bryce Miller, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 Ks, 52 pitches, 35 strikes, and an ERA of 3.87. And Bryce Miller coming into the game had a 6-6 record, an ERA of 3.90. Let's go Mariners. Let's go, baby. One more like to 30. Who's going to be the person that gets us to that 30 number? And we want to get 30 to 50 on every stream. We're at 29. Let's go. And the people that are watching on Twitter/X can always make their way over here onto the YouTube side if they want to engage and let us know who they are, especially if they're watching every day. Well, I think it's not just Garb. I think it's just the team overall. You know, our team as a whole, is not a good hitting team, period. It just sucks, when you end up having situations like that where guys are at second and third. And even if he only knocked in one, it's like we don't expect him to go for a 3-run blast, but just to get one more run in and get a nice little single bloop, for an RBI for the guy from third to go to home. That's what we were hoping for, right? And then best case scenario, he goes crazy and hits a 3-run jack and we get all excited and then all of a sudden we're up 4-1. But again, it does get a little depressing, when you have these situations where you just need one more guy to get a hit and then the run ends and then we have to wait till the next inning. One stranded in the first, one stranded in the second, two stranded in the third. But at least if we're being, positive, at least Haniger homered. That was unexpected. And we have a 1-1 tie, and again, we might only get a couple runs in this game until after these starting pitchers go out. We might end up with a 3-2 final. Santana was on. He's hustling in the second, sliding head first, safe. And again, he would have been 2 for 2 to start off the game yesterday if Ty France and Polo didn't have line drives with exit velos of like 107 that they ended up catching. Santana was poised for a really good day. And honestly, I think that if he would have gotten those 2 base knocks, we might have lost yesterday. So there's Santana getting a base knock and hustling. He knows he's a little chubby and a little overweight, and he's not that fast as like a Carlos Correa. But nice to see Santana putting in that effort, who normally is a first base /DH specialist. We got a big dumper on our team, and sometimes the guys that are a little bit heavier, you just got to put a little bit more effort in those legs. Top of the fourth, 1-1, Twins and Mariners. Santana at second, 0-1 count to Max Kepler. Cal Raleigh having a little meet here with Bryce. Hopefully you keep him motivated here. Look at the home pitching. 1.82 ERA on the road, 6.28 for Bryce. Jesus. 3 home runs given up at home, 11 on the road. Like I said, especially if you're the 4th or 5th guy in the rotation, you're going to get beat up on the road, and that's exactly what Bryce is. He's always going to be a 4 or a 5. Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Castillo, and then obviously when Wu comes back, and then you got Bryce Miller and probably Emerson Hancock, I would assume. 0-1 pitch. Chopper towards first, foul by Max Kepler. Got to get him out. Let him know, baby. Let's go. We're at 10, 90 to go. Oh-2 pitch. Which is low and into the dirt. 1-2 count. Come on, Bryce. Go, baby. Play loose, baby. Chopped it off his foot. Count remains 1-2. Go, baby. We're at 10, 90 to go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. 30 to 50 likes every stream, and we've been doing that. 72 people in the building. All right, we hit 30 likes. We're at 31. 9 more to get to 40. Let's go. 8 more to get to 40. Appreciate you. 42 on the YouTube side, 30 on the Twitter/X side, 72 people. Let's go. Nice punch out by Bryce Miller. See you later, Kepler. Nice job. 5th K for Bryce. Miller time, baby. Nice job, Miller. Next up for the Twins, third baseman, Jose Miranda. 1 for 1 with an RBI. Hopefully we can get him out. We don't want him to get hot as the game goes on. .298 average, 8 homers and 36 ribbies for Jose Miranda here in 2024. Top of the 4th, 1-1, Twins and Mariners. Runner at second, 1 away. Bryce Miller, 63 pitches in on a 1-1 count. Let's go, Bryce. 1-1 pitch. Got him to bait. That one was low and outside. Cal couldn't even hang on to it, and he ended up whiffing at that one. Count is 1-2. Let's go, Bryce. One more pitch. There we go. 35 likes. 5 more to get to 40. Let's go, baby. We're pacing very well so far. And if this game stays close, we'll break 80 to 100 or more in the room. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is outside. 2-2 count. Guevara in the building. What's good? For the Mariners or for the Twins? You never expected the Twins to be this good or the Mariners to be this good this year? Pitch is outside. 3-2 count. I mean, I guess you could probably say it for both teams. So, I don't know. I know with me and Reflect, Reflect thought we would win 105. I thought, 90 to 95. But we both thought we could win the division, going into the year. So, Chopper. JP, throw to tie. 2 away. Mariners. We strike out a lot, but top 5 pitching. Julio hasn't really been that good this year, but Cal stepped up. Bullpen has had injuries with Matt Brash and Santos, but we've had other guys step up, like Stanek. So, and like I said, out of all the top 10 teams that have winning records, we are the worst hitting team out of them all. But we're still in first place. So, again, if we can just add a couple bats and another bullpen guy by the deadline, I think the Mariners would have a very good chance of making a very deep run. Of course, people are going to say the Guardians and Orioles and Yankees are better. That's fine. That's fair, right? But I think that the Twins, the Mariners, and the Royals aren't far behind. And if there's any injuries to those top 3 teams, Guardians, Yankees, or Orioles, I think the Royals, Twins, and Mariners could take advantage. Oh, diving attempt by Luke Raley, just out of reach. He tried. Now it's 2-1 Minnesota, and that's not due to lack of effort. He went out and he's Superman for it. Looked like he injured himself a little bit there. Byron Buxton doubled to left, and again, maybe the guy that's been really hyped up the most, in the past few years is supposed to be like that breakout player, but always got hurt. 13 doubles this season, and Raley just out of reach. Needed about one more step and would have made a ESPN top 10 play. And Buxton doesn't even play every day. Big play for him. Nice RBI. 2-1 Minnesota. Next up, catcher Ryan Jeffers. Got to watch out for him as well. .236 average, 13 homers, 41 ribbies for Jeffers. 1-0 pitch. Popped up. Slams the bat down on the ground. Rayleigh is there. There we go. It's kind of a lucky spot there, but this the effort of Luke Rayleigh. Like, you know, even if he doesn't make a play, I mean, can you really blame the guy? I mean, he ran full speed. He's Superman. He dived. He knew he might get hurt, and he just came up a little short. But it's like those effort type of plays should hopefully be rubbing off on the other players. And that's why I love Luke Rayleigh as one of my top 5 guys on the Mariners this year. You know, he's a guy that always hustles to first, even if it's just a, you know, routine ground ball out. You never know if that shortstop or second baseman will bobble it, or if the throw ends up being like shit to first, where you might be able to, you know, become safe at some point. And great effort by Rayleigh, but we're down 2-1. But again, I still think that we can win this game. We won 3-2 and 10 yesterday, and we're pacing for a similar finish maybe tonight. Let's go. Go M's. How long you been a Mariner fan for? Marvel in the building. What's good? How are you? Try this up. Let's go M's. Well, when we go up against any pitcher, we suck. Let's be honest. I mean, if you're watching game in and game out, it doesn't matter if we go against a Cy Young pitcher that's legit, or if we go against a pitcher that's got an ERA of 10 and they got 1 win and 8 losses. At the end of their run, they might have 8, 9, or 10 Ks. I mean, if you actually are watching this Mariner team, you know, we are the number 1 strikeout team out of any team in the last 100 years. So, you know, complaining that we suck and that we can't hit anybody, good pitchers or bad pitchers, that's the stat. You know, you have to look at the stats and the analytics, and if you follow those stats, it shouldn't really be that surprising. Now, if you don't follow stats at all, you know, everyone can just bitch and complain about why we suck so bad at hitting. But, you know, until we actually, you know, make changes and bringing in players that can actually fucking hit, you know, this is how it's going to be. You know, it's going to be a grinded out type of game until we get better. And then hopefully one day we can get 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits almost every day. And once we get to that point, that's when we're going to be World Series bound. And we're not there yet. So we absolutely should. And that's why a lot of the guys that we have in the farm system are hitters. We got second basemen, third basemen, shortstop, outfielders. You know, you got Colt, you got Cole, you got Lazaro. We got like 3, 4, 5 guys that are very solid that might be starting on the Mariners in the next 1 to 3 years if we don't trade them away. Rayleigh popped up, 1 away. But yeah, definitely the focus needs to be on hitting for sure. I mean, you can't be batting 200 to 220 as a team and think you're going to go to the World Series and win it all. You know, you might not even be able to make it to the ALCS with numbers like that. You know, even if the pitching is lights out, you still need to manufacture some hits and some RBIs and an occasional home run. You know, if we're not going to be able to hit 5 runs every game, you know, you can't be pulling up 1s and 2s. And hell, even when we get to 3, we end up losing most of the time. You know, it's like the magic number for the Mariners in years past, 2022 and 2023, was 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. Now it's 4 runs and 7 to 10 hits. You know, just because the pitchers are wheeling and dealing this year. It's definitely a pitching league. Next up is Ty France. Let's go, baby. But we can make a pitcher that's got, you know, 1 win, 10 losses, an ERA of 11 look like a Cy Young candidate with like 13 Ks at the end of the night. And you're thinking, how the hell did that happen? But again, it's not just an individual like Julio that's sucking. It's a team. It's a team problem. So I don't know if they need to get Ichiro or Ken Griffey Jr. in the building every day working with these guys, or someone else, you know, that they feel they respect from the past, either with the Mariner organization or someone else, but something needs to change. Big swing and a miss. There goes Ty France. 2 away. Next up, second baseman Jorge Polanco. But again, you know, not having Hollywood Josh Rojas as an everyday player at third and not having Luke Rayleigh as an everyday left fielder has cost us 4 or 5 games this year. You know, by putting in Demo or Canzone or Haniger and then not getting anything from those guys. You know, it's like we barely have any guys that we can really have confidence in. And the last thing that you want to do is have one of the 3 guys that actually is good on the Mariners hitting and then to like have them play 1 game, sit 2 games, play 1 game, sit 2 games, or have them switch fucking positions every game. That's not going to give you continuity and chemistry if you're moving them around. you know. But a lot of the guys that we have in the farm system are actually hitters and defenders, and they're not pitchers. Like we got one pitcher, and then the other 7 are like infielders or outfielders. So a couple outfielders, and most of the guys are like infield. So Cole, and Lazaro. 0-2 pitch. There goes Polo. Nice hitting by Pablo Lopez. End of the 4th inning, 2-1 Twins. 7-6 record, ERA of 5.11. But more times than not, it seems like when people come to play the Mariners, it feels like they can get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Ks. And on our end, even our high-end pitchers with Logan Gilbert and George Kirby and Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller and Brian Wu. And, a year or two ago, we might have been able to get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Ks with some of those guys, right? We would shoot for 10 Ks every starter. And a lot of times we would hit that number. But this year, it's drastically lower, where we're getting more like 4 to 7 Ks. Like getting 8 or more is like almost unheard of. If you actually think about it, like if you're actually going back and looking at the stat line, it's very rare for a Mariner pitcher nowadays to get 8, 9, 10 Ks. And anything over 10, that's like some kind of like, video game numbers, And again, we're more likely to give up 10 Ks than for our pitcher to get 10. Even if Logan is wheeling and dealing or Kirby, it seems like 4 to 7 and a lot of cheap ground outs and pop-ups. And that's fine as long as we get the dub at the end of the day if we don't get the 10 Ks. So we'll see where it goes. End of the 4th inning, 2-1 Twins. See who's up next for Minnesota. Next up for the Twins, left fielder Austin Martin. Batting second, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Second baseman, Willie Castro. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, DHing for the Twins, Trevor Larna. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. Let's go. We got 68 people in the building. 3 more likes to hit 40. We're at 37. 13 more to get the goal. 12 more to get the goal. We're at 38. We need 2 more to get to 40. 12 more to hit the ultimate goal, 50. Let's go. Appreciate all the support. And maybe we can get a few more goats to come through, and we can get a few more pieces of support on the dono train. Top of the 5th inning, 2-1 Twins. Come on, Bryce, finish strong. One count to Austin Martin. One pitch from Miller to Martin. Chopper towards first, foul. 1-2 count. Let's go, baby. Let's go, M's. Try to sub. 1-2 pitch. Pitches outside. 2-2 count. Come on, Bryce. Stay confident. Chopper towards third. Count remains 2-2. Top of the 5th, 2-1 Twins. 2-2 pitch from Miller to Martin. Time is called. Okay, no problem. Get better. Appreciate you and your support for me and Paisley and the channel. Love you. Two pitch. Chop foul. So if it was me and I was running the team, I would have Locklear playing first and Bliss playing second, and I would have Ty France and Polo on the bench. Not necessarily maybe in AAA, but I would just have them as being like, DH guys. As those guys play first and play second. We need the younger players to get the experience. And again, if we're going to be striking out all the time anyways, right, you might as well, get some experience out of the new guys because it feels like they have more swagger and confidence than the veteran guys like Polo and Ty France. So I agree. I would rather have Ryan Bliss play for Polo. I'd rather have Locklear play, for Ty France. And then again, if you still want Polo and France to get some action, then guess what? The new DH instead of Mitch Garver will be Ty France. And then you can put him there, and you can put Polo at DH with Garv as well. And Garv will be the backup catcher. But again, take the guys out of the lineup and just have like Ty France and Polo be an occasional DH with Garv. That's what they should do. There we go. Right past Rojas. Martin is aboard. Nice hit by him. Next up, second baseman, Willie Castro. And Rojas just under the mitt, but we can get a double play right here to make up for that particular play. So I'm not worried about that. Rojas has been solid at third base, just like Eugenio Suarez was for us at third base as well. But again, second base, Bliss is better. First base, give me Locklear over France. And then we got to figure out, even though Haniger homered today, we need to get a better right fielder, And then if they want to keep Locklear on the Tacoma Rainiers, then trade for Pete Alonso. He's old as shit and his defense kind of stinks. He at least gives us a bat, if we're trying to upgrade first base, And then we also need to get an outfielder. Like a Luis Robert Jr. in right field, something like that. I mean, if we had Luis Robert Jr. in right field, right, and then with Julio and then Luke Raley, that would be a lot better. Obviously, stats in the lineup, defensively too. But I just don't know if the Mariners are going to pull the trigger for a big name or if we're going to go for, a lower name like a Brett Rooker on the A's or, maybe Brian De La Cruz on the Marlins. But honestly, anybody we bring in will help. It just depends on, Vladdy would be a good fit. I mean, it just depends on who we have to give up for these guys. But Vladdy would be a good fit. Pete Alonso would be a good fit. Bo Bichette coming to the team would be a good fit. Like literally anybody coming over to the Mariners, when you're like the most garbage hitting team in baseball and you're still a first place team, like literally we will take anybody. But we will take, fucking Mike Smith, Don Jackson, like the most rando guys that no one's ever heard of. Like we'll take anybody as long as the stats are good, And of course, if you have to get a superstar, you're going to have to give up more in your farm system. So that's where we have to tread softly because we do have Colt, we have Cole, and we have Lazaro Montes. So we got 3 really top-end guys, and then there's another 5 below them that could be pretty solid for us in the near future as well. But again, we have 8 guys in the top 100, and we're number 2 farm team in baseball, which has never happened before. So big swing and a miss for Castro. Got him. So it's like we don't want to, for the very first time, we have like one of the best farm systems in baseball. We don't want to just give it all away for nothing. We want to make sure that if we are giving some of the pieces away, that it's got to be a piece that can help us like right away with a big impact, like a Luis Robert Jr. or a Pete Alonso or whatever. Unless it ends up being a lower name guy like a Brent Rooker from the A's or a Brian De La Cruz on the Marlins. So, and that's kind of more of the Mariners' MO. Go for cheap and try to get like the low name guy that has great stats on a shitty team instead of trying to give up a lot compensation wise, 3 top 100 guys for Luis Robert Jr., which I doubt they would do, but you never know. Top of the 5th, 2-1 Twins. But again, I mean, it would be exciting to be able to bring in a huge name to come in, to be able to give us that swagger and that oomph in the lineup. But then sometimes these guys, they might have a bat, but they might not be very good defensively. Like Pete Alonso, he's kind of like Ty France, a better hitter than France, but they both kind of are not very good defensively. Got him! Cal Raleigh with another punch out, baby. There we go. Caught stealing. Martin, sit down. And Cal Raleigh is one of the best. He's number 1 or number 2 at throwing out guys from first to second this season. So he's drastically improved his defensive throwing from the knees. Fantastic. Nice job, Cal. Another reason why he's a top 5 catcher already in baseball, offensively and defensively, the total package. And we're not talking Lex Luger. We're talking Cal Raleigh. And honestly, if I had a choice between Cal Raleigh or Salvador Perez, even though Salvador Perez's batting average is better, right? He's at the end of his career, and obviously Adley Rutschman is, the phenom. So it's not like we're going to be able to, have stats like that, at least not yet with Cal. But, I honestly, the only person that I would want over Cal that's catching in MLB right now is Adley Rutschman. That's it. Salvador Perez's numbers are great. He's an OG, a borderline Hall of Fame type of player. One of the only original OGs to be on that Royal team that went to back-to-back World Series, lost, and then won, right? Stud, very consistent, very underrated, but he's old, and obviously I would want a little bit of youth, at the catching position. So for me, in the American League, Cal's already a top 3 catcher and overall top 5. But again, not a lot of people know about him, but the better that we do and the more playoff runs we have, more people will know that Cal Raleigh is a household name. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Well, that's what happens, Flying Monk, when you've been watching a team since like the 80s. So I might look young, but I'm 42. So I've been watching the Mariners since 85, since I've been 3. So, been watching for 39 years, almost 40 years. So again, and I've only had a few good years watching this team. 1995, the Griffey slide, right? 97, AL MVP with Ken Griffey Jr. 2001, one of the best years the Mariners have ever had. Ichiro's rookie year. 100 to 115 wins, having those amazing games, amazing staff, but then losing in the first round to the Yankees, and then Cal Raleigh with the walk-off, right, in 2022. So in the 39 years that I've been watching the Mariners, I've only had 4 good years. So we're going to have 4 good years in the next probably 6 years. So we're going to have as many memories that I've been able to collect in my brain in the last 39 years, having 4 good seasons that are memorable. In the next 4 to 5 years, we're going to have just as many quality years. So we're definitely going to be on the up and up. Go to the bottom of the 5th. Next up, the hero so far, Mitch Haniger. Go Hanny. Can Hanny go for another home run? Not likely, but you never know. LA Lou in the building. What's good? Lucas from Brazil. What's good? Bottom of the 5th, 2-1 Twins. Nice win for you, LA Lou. Getting a lot of runs in extras, beating the rival Giants. It's always going to be a bonus. Regardless of what the Giants' record is, it's always a good feeling to beat a rival. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. If you're just popping into the room, smash that like button for your boy. We got 78 in the room. Bitches outside, 1-2 count. Where are we at on the likes? We're at 38. We need 2 more to get to 40. We have 53 in the room. So we definitely have wiggle room there. We got 54 in the room, 39 likes. 1 more to get to 40. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Let's get to 50 likes by the time the stream ends. We're almost there. Big swing and a miss. There goes Haniger. 1 away. It's okay, Mitch. You already came up big for us with that 1. And again, 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits. If we end up hitting 3 runs or less, the Mariner record is not very good. It's like 4 or 5 wins and like 30 or 40 losses. So unless we get extremely lucky like we did yesterday, winning 3-2 in extras. But again, we're not good when we get 3 runs or less. It has to be 4 or more. And when you're one of the worst hitting teams in baseball, that can be very, very tough. And hopefully one day we'll be one of the best teams at hitting the baseball. A guy can dream, I would love for us to be a top 10 hitting team because we're already going to have the pitching there, and the bullpen, as guys stay healthy. But Brash was playing this year healthy and we didn't have the injury to Santos. You never know what kind of number we would be at, but injuries are a part of the game. But I hope one day, hell, I would be even happy if we were a top 15 hitting team, Just don't be in the bottom 5 or bottom 10. Mariners rival? We got a couple. I don't know. I would say, obviously, the Astros and Rangers are going to be the main ones. Yankees, another one. Obviously that's been from way back in the day, and even with the Griffey, era and whatnot, and now. And then we always anticipate good matchups, with like teams like the Blue Jays and the Royals and the Guardians and the Twins. But I would probably say Angels, in the division, because we fought them before, right? And then Astros and Rangers. So those three teams in the division, not really the A's because they're not really good or relevant. So I'd say Angels, Astros, Rangers, Yankees. I would say those are probably the main ones that we would say are the top. And I would say if we had to choose one team to be our number one rival, Astros by a lot. JP, little dribbler, throw to first, 3 up and 3 down, quick inning there for the Minnesota Twins. Now, when the Angels had Shohei and Trout, and then we ended up getting in a brawl with them, it's always been kind of chippy between both of our teams, but obviously they don't have Trout playing right now, and Ohtani's gone. So I feel that rivalry will never really be as what it was. They're going to go down to like the A's level, where we're going to be in the same division, but we don't really consider it a rivalry if we're beating the shit out of you most of the time. But with the Astros and Rangers, like, they beat us, we beat them. We don't like you, you don't like us. But I feel like the rivalry with the Rangers is a little bit more friendly. It's like we respect them. I feel they respect us, but it's not like really like cold-hearted. But when the Astros come to town or we go there, we're like, fuck you. And they're like, fuck you. And pretty much everyone's fuck you to the Astros because of the cheating, right? So, we don't like Jose Altuve. Nobody likes the Astros. So, I would probably go, Astros, and then a little bit more friendlier, Rangers, and then Yankees, and then below them maybe Angels. That's probably where I would go, because I feel when we play the Yankees, it's not like a quote unquote like true rivalry because we're not in the same division. We're both in the American League, but I feel there's a lot of history between like the Mariners and the Yankees, and we always look forward to playing them. They look forward to playing us, and I feel like it's just a special matchup that, when you can see Aaron Judge in person, it's really special. And I feel that when we can beat a team like that, it says a lot about our organization, when you can beat the top of the top. And then you never know, as the years go on, maybe we'll have a little bitter rivalry with the Orioles, if they continue to stay good as a young and up-and-coming team, or maybe a team in the Central with the Guardians, Twins, or the Royals, So we'll see where it goes. But we're ready. Let's see who's up next here for the Minnesota Twins. Top of the 6, 2-1 Twins. Likes up, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. Let's go, baby. Let's get to 50 likes tonight. Let's get 100 in donos. Next up, 0 for 2, shortstop Carlos Correa. Batting second, the former Mariner, first baseman Carlos Santana. And batting third, right fielder Max Kepler. I got Trent Thornton in the game. Come on, Trent. And a decent outing for Bryce. A few of his outings have been bad, where he gives up 1 to 4 runs in the first or second inning. So, nothing too crazy, only 2. But sometimes when you give up 2 and you have a hard time hitting and, getting RBIs and getting home runs, at this point, it feels like we're down 4-1. You multiply whatever we're down by. If they have 2, it's 4. If they have 1, it's 2. If they have 3, it feels like 6. Now, if we can get to a point where we can fucking hit and get home runs and RBIs on more of a regular basis, then the score will feel like what it is on the screen. But the good thing about the Mariners is we're a very good 7th, 8th, and 9th inning team in baseball, one of the best. So it's kind of like chaos ball, where we get our ass kicked for the first 6 innings, usually, and then we have to, sprint, in the last 3 innings, and then try to find a miracle and win this chaotic way that we call Seattle Mariner baseball. It's definitely very dramatic. Top of the 6, 2-1 Twins. Runner at first. 0-1 count from Thornton to Santana. Go, Trent. Let's go, baby. We need you, Trent. $90 to go. 0-2 pitch. Line drive. Where the hell is the second baseman? Jorge Polanco. See you later. Ryan Bliss was there. That play is made. JP flips it to nobody. Where the hell is Jorge Polanco? Send that bitch to fucking AAA. Jesus Christ. Number 1 on my shit list, Jorge Polanco. Garbage. Obviously, we need to upgrade Haniger in France, but Jesus Christ. Runners at first and second. Yeah, I agree. A little sad, you know. If I could add 2 players that have played, you know, in the last 15 years on the Mariners to this squad, obviously Felix and Seager. That's who I would want to add, Kyle Seager and Felix Hernandez. But again, you know, we went 20 plus years of being a garbage organization and not making the playoffs. So, you know, we made it in 2022. We didn't make it last year, almost made a wild card. And this year we're going to make it. We're going to win the AL West. But again, you know, how far we go will depend on the injuries and how hot and healthy we can be in October. Got to find a way to get a double play here. Kepler, there we go, 1 away. Big strikeout for Thornton, we'll take that. Nice job, Trent. Next up for the Twins, third baseman Jose Miranda. 1 for 2 with an RBI here tonight. Pitches inside from Thornton, 1-0 count. Pitching is everything too, you know. It's like if your starting pitching is shaky, and then you have a 2-1 deficit, and then you bring in these guys in the bullpen, you know, it's either going to be, you know, just as bad as it was with the starter, you know, or worse. A lot of times it's not going to be better than what you got from what the starter was giving you. So hopefully we can find a way, and obviously only getting 1 run at this point is not going to be enough. You know, 4 hits at this point is terrible. Trent Thornton on the mound. Jose Miranda in the box. 3-0 pitch. Pitch is high, out of the zone, but called strike anyways. 3-1 count. Come on, Mariners. 3-1 pitch. Right down the middle for a strike. 3-2 count from Thornton to Miranda. Let's go. We got to keep these guys on base. We can't have them get knocked in. We got to keep this a 1-run deficit to give us a chance. 3-2 pitch. Chopper. At least got the force out at second, thank God. Well, what do you know? Jorge Polanco actually being at second base when he's supposed to be. Fielder's choice, runners out. They're at second base. Runners at first and third, and they're in a challenge or what? Next up, center fielder Byron Buxton. 1 for 2 with an RBI double at his last at-bat. Yeah, clearly out. But I guess, you know, Twins are trying to, you know, even up the series, losing 3, 2, and 10. So got to find a way with these guys in the bullpen. And that's one thing about the Mariners that, you know, as far as like confidence level, I mean, we don't really have any 300 hitters. We can't hit. We don't really get home runs that often. We have a hard time getting more than 3 runs. But I think the bullpen overall isn't really very good. You know, I don't feel that confident in that many guys that are in the bullpen. Now, if Matt Brash wasn't injured all year, and then we would have him and Munoz, then I would feel pretty good, at least with those two guys. But, with Thornton and Sauce and, I do like Stanek. So I guess, if we had Brash available, then Stanek, and then Munoz, I would feel a lot better. But for a lot of the intermediate guys that we throw in there, like Thornton, Bazardo, fucking Saucedo, they're not very good, and a lot of times they blow the games for us. And I hope that one day we can focus on not only getting good quality hitters, but we need better quality bullpen guys. Like if we're going to focus on all these amazing starters, with like Luis Castillo and George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu, what about getting guys like that in our bullpen? Find guys that are very good in the 6th, 7th, and 8th specialists and pay money for those guys. If you end up paying big money for a guy that can get guys out in the 6th, 7th, and 8th, think about how good your team will be by the time you get to the 9th. Like, I don't really understand why. I would rather have a couple less positional players and have better guys in the bullpen if I know that's going to help us win. But it seems like most MLB organizations don't really care about the bullpen that much. But it is a very big factor on winning and losing games in 2024. Top of the 6th, 2-1 Minnesota. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. 1-1 pitch from Thornton to Buxton. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 count. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Let's go. We got 75 people in the room. 8 more likes to get to 50. We're at 42. Let's go. One-two pitch from Thornton to Buxton. 2 outs and 2 on. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is outside. 2-2 count. I think you'd have to look at the stats, to like break down the career before you can give a proper answer. Buxton, back, gone! For a guy that doesn't play every day, that was maybe one of the more highly touted, supposed to be a top 10 player when he first came up, into the major leagues, has had a lot of injuries, not injured today. Big RBI early on, and then a 3-run jack. He didn't even play yesterday. 5-1 Twins. And I don't want to say it's over, but chances of us coming back in this game now really went down. Again, we have a hard time even getting to 5 as it is. This one might be in the books, and we might end up getting to 3 by the time the game is over, but I highly doubt we're going to get to 5. And hopefully we can win tomorrow to end up winning the series. That fucking sucks. That's just me being real. You know what I mean? Just based on how this team has been hitting. We are a very good 7th, 8th, and 9th inning team. So now we have to figure out, we have to get, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, right? And then, 2 in the 8th, or 2 in the 9th to tie it up. And hopefully we can win this game 6-5 in 10 innings. But what are the chances of that happening? It could happen, but in reality, let's be real, that might have been the nail in the coffin right there. I know it's only the 6th inning, but Jesus Christ. Big game for Byron Buxton. Didn't play yesterday. They inserted him in the lineup with 2 other players that didn't play yesterday. And the bottom end of the order, my God. Tough. Chopper. Go to first, and the damage is done. Shows you why it's so important to have good bullpen guys, especially when you are down only a run, with a Bryce Miller outing when he, was actually doing pretty good today. When Bryce is bad, he'll give up 4 runs in the 1st or 2nd inning, and the game is already over, right? So he actually was decent today. But Thornton, another guy that's not trustworthy. Bazardo, not trustworthy. Saucedo, not trustworthy. And the guy that we would have in that position, Matt Brash, has been injured all year. Hasn't even played a game, had surgery. So that would have been Matt Brash, and sometimes Brash would get fucked up and give up a homer like that. But that's tough. Big 3-run blast by Byron Buxton. Nice job. Can't really say anything terrible about him. All right, Mariners, got to dig deep now. Got to go for a run in the 6th, run in the 7th, and then 2 in the 8th or the 9th to tie it up 5-5. Pray they don't score anymore, and then we have to pray that we can win 6-5 in 10 or 11 innings. That would be the formula on us coming back. Don't know if it's going to happen, but at least I have to say it to, bring it out into the existence. 1 run here or 1 run in the 7th, and then 2 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th, and then try to win in extras. Tough. Good job, Thornton. Way to be. Next up, center fielder 0 for 2, Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, DHing for Seattle, Mitch Garver. And again, it is possible that we come back. I mean, we have come back in this scenario. I would say maybe 15% of the time, 20%, where we've had this huge deficit, but it has to be a thing where the players feel like, okay, we're going to come back. Or are you thinking about what are you doing tonight? Are you thinking about, what you need to drink or what you need to eat? Or we have a rubber match tomorrow at 1. Are you thinking about tomorrow? Or are you thinking about today? Julio. Run. Oh, he caught it, damn it. We got 5 subs today. That's a good start. Let's go. 82 subs to get to 20,400. 5 new subs today. Shout out to all the people that are new subs to the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Appreciate you. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. Love you. Appreciate you. Bottom of the 6th, 5-1 Minnesota. Raleigh chops that one foul. Like the constellation. I have this here, but I usually don't have it on the stream. If people want me to have that on the stream so they can see my name on there, I mean, you guys can comment below, but I think it kind of looks better without it on there, but people know who I am. But I think the stream looks a little cleaner without it on there, but sometimes I'll flip it on once in a while. Yeah, Orion, like the constellation, and for the shitty electronics in the 80s. Orion Pictures through RoboCop. Obviously, Orion Pictures was always big, but they had like the Orion TVs and the VCRs. I never owned one, but I had friends that had them and whatnot. But I would assume that, if you were born, in the 80s or prior, you probably have heard of something related to Orion. So, and then obviously in like Men in Black and Transformers, they talk about Orion and the constellation, the chosen one. Bottom of the 6th, 5-1 Minnesota. Shout out to my parents, for not naming me Ryan or Brian. Nothing wrong with those particular names, or if you're named that. But it got brutalized in school where they couldn't say my first name or last name. But I definitely wasn't embarrassed by my name one bit. I definitely embraced it and loved it, and it's definitely a unique name. You don't see too many Orions floating around on social media. Pitch off the plate, 2-2 count to Mitch Garver. Come on, Mariners. Let's go. The Orion amps were the shit, he said. Let's go. Come on, Garv. Two-two pitch on the corner. 3-2 count. But we're not getting anything this inning. End of the 6th inning, 5-1 Twins. So now we're going to have to get a run in the 7th, right? 2 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th, or 2 runs in the 7th, 2 runs in the 8th, or 2 runs, 1 run, 1 run. We have to figure it out. 2-1-1. The best inning for the Seattle Mariners is the 7th inning.
If we go back, and I look at all the stats and the algorithms and the analytics, but if you go back every single game, I'm a nerd, right? The best inning for the Mariners is the 7th inning. That's where we score the most runs and we have the most hits typically. So maybe 2 runs to get it to 5-3, and then 1 run in the 8th, 1 run in the 9th, and then see what happens in the 10th. That has to be the formula. Unless we have like a magical 4-run 7th inning and we tie it up 5-5. But I mean, that has happened before, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen tonight. Shitty that we dug ourselves in a hole like that, and Bryce didn't really have a terrible outing. We were only down a run, and then here comes Trent Thornton to blow the game for us, but that could have happened to any of our, mid relievers. But that's one position that we really suck at. Mid relievers, we're not good. Like I said, I don't trust anybody that's in there. I trust Stanek in the 8th, Munoz in the 9th, but anyone that we have in the 6th and 7th, garbage. I would rather have the starting pitcher have his arm fall off and go into the 6th or 7th inning than have any of these other guys come in and blow the game for us. And if that means that pitcher ends up blowing the game, so it be. But I would rather, have the starters go 6-7 innings and then go Stanek in the 8th and Munoz in the 9th. And I know you can't do that every night. And some of these other guys like Thornton and Bizzardo and Sauce need opportunities. But we need to replace those guys to get better pitchers, either starters that struggled, right? And then now they're mid relievers, or find specialists that are really damn good in the 6th and 7th inning and trade for those guys. Get rid of some of these other players that we have like Ty France and Haniger and Polanco, and get those, positional players out, and then bring in some stud bullpen guys, because we got AAA guys that can fill the gaps, for some of these other guys that we're paying money for. That's what I want the Mariners to do, but again, we'll see what happens. Yeah, Tacoma Rainiers, just like Flying Monk said. I got the Modesto Nuts, Tacoma Rainiers, and, they got single A, high A, double A, triple A. But I think that if we, we're able to replace like Ty France for Tyler Locklear, get rid of Polanco, use Ryan Bliss, get someone in the outfield for Haniger like a Luis Robert Jr., and then start spending big money on specialists in the 6th and 7th inning. If we got 2 studs in the bullpen in the 6th and the 7th that only pitch those innings, right? Think about how much better the Mariners would be. But again, the GM and the organization, they don't think like that. They just grab whoever, Why if you're going to make an impact with guys that pitch in the 8th and the 9th, with like Stanek and Munoz, why not find guys like them in the 6th and the 7th instead of just getting these rando guys that suck when they come in and blow the game for us all the time? And again, any pitcher can blow the game. Either they don't have their location or speed, or the other team is just really good and smoking them, right? But again, I feel like that's one of the biggest weaknesses on the Mariners besides not being able to hit. 6th and 7th inning pitching is garbage. Top of the 7th, 5-1 Twins. 2-2 count to Austin Martin. Struck him out. Snyder in the game. But it's kind of a shitty feeling to be a fan of a baseball team, and as soon as the starter goes out, you have this fear that the game is over, or the game is gonna, something bad is gonna happen. Like if you already had bad shit happen in the first 6 innings, the last thing that you want as a fan is to have the pitcher that comes in the 6th and the 7th do even worse than the starter. And I feel that happens to the Mariners like 9 times out of 10. Like, I like the guys in the 8th and the 9th when it's like Stanek and Munoz, but everyone else is garbage. Not good. Sewald was good for us, but then obviously we saw how he looked in the World Series and got fucking rocked, But having another pitcher, to give us another option, with this particular team would be nice. Like if we had, Stanek in the 7th, Sewald in the 8th, Munoz in the 9th, how much better our team would look. Then we wouldn't have to put in Saucedo or Bizzardo or Trent Thornton or any of these other guys. They would just be, emergency guys that we would have. So. Arthur Rhodes. Top of the 7th, 5-1 Minnesota. Next up, Willie Castro, 0 for 3. 1-2 pitch. Well, line drive. Nice defense by J.P. Crawford, baby. That's my guy. Nice defense, JP. 2 away. Next up for the Twins, DHing tonight, Trevor Larnach. Hopefully we can end up winning tomorrow so we can at least win the series and win 2 out of 3. Then we have the day off on Monday, and then we have a 3-game set against the Orioles at home, which isn't going to be easy. I will be there on the game number 3 on 4th of July, and hopefully they can end up, winning 2 out of 3, but we might only win 1 out of 3 against the Orioles. Hopefully we don't get swept. I mean, that's a question for Kevin, the GM, and the ownership. A lot of times, when players leave Seattle, they get better when they go somewhere else. But again, we have to build the culture first here, and have good culture. And once we have good culture, then, things will, start panning out for some of these other guys. But again, you got to think, we didn't make the playoffs for 20 years. Right? We just made it in 2022. It's not like this Mariner team has been good for 10 years straight. We made the playoffs in 2022 with a walk-off with Cal Raleigh against the A's, right? And then we barely missed the wild card last year because pitching and hitting was inconsistent. We were a 220 to 200, type of team. Not very good. And then this year we're doing well, but we still can't hit, have some flaws. But we are still first place in the American League West. We will make the playoffs this year. We will win the AL West this year, but it's going to be one of those things where, if we want to be a contender, we're going to have to play better. Mariners, Twins, Royals, they're, the lower 3. Guardians, Orioles, Yankees are the upper 3. Haniger, throw to second. Keeps him at first base, safe. Larnach singled to right. 5-1 Minnesota. Next up, shortstop Carlos Correa, the second most booed player in Major League Baseball besides Jose Altuve. And he's not even on the Astros anymore. They don't give no fucks. They're like, you played there, you cheated, boo. But ideally, if we could get 2 bats and a bullpen guy, or 2 bats and 2 bullpen guys, that would be the best, thing for the Seattle Mariners. 2 guys in the bullpen to replace the guys in the 6th and 7th inning, and then getting a right fielder and a first baseman upgrade. And then obviously benching Polanco and bringing up Ryan Bliss as an everyday player. STL in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Let's go. Bills need to be paid. $66 people in the building. We're at 43 likes, 7 more to get to 50. Pitch in the zone for a strike, 1-2 count, 44. 6 more to hit the goal for tonight. We're at 44 likes. We want to try to get to 50. And we got 3 innings to do it. I think we can do it. Yeah. Colt Emerson is a stud. Cole Young is a stud. And Lazaro Montes is a stud. So with Cole Young and Colt Emerson, infielders, and then Lazaro Montes could be that right fielder of the future. But again, when you got guys in single A, double A, high A, triple A, sometimes it's going to take a little bit of time when, to show that they're ready. And we got Ryan Bliss and Tyler Locklear that could be added to the lineup as well. So we're sitting in a good spot. And I don't want to trade away Cole or Lazaro Montes. I mean, I get it. Getting a Pete Alonso or Luis Robert Jr., Bo Bichette or Vlad Jr. would be amazing. But, the future of Colt and Cole and Lazaro could be huge. Like, it could really change the Mariners from being, a playoff team to maybe a World Series playoff team, a contender, not a pretender. I mean, those are 3 of the best prospects that we've had in a while. But they're still not necessarily ready just yet. And I haven't even brought up fucking Harry Ford. That's another one, And Harry Ford can play catcher, third base, second base, shortstop. So with those 4 guys, Cole Young, Colt Emerson, Harry Ford, Lazaro Montes, that's the future. Those are the 4 best out of the 8 that we have in the top 100. And we got Tyler Locklear and Ryan Bliss. So it's like, the upside for the Mariners, it's like, okay, if you can start to realize that the guys that are lower may be better hitters than the guys that we have now, give them a shot. If everyone is fucking striking out as it is, why not have the young guys go in there? Fans are not going to get upset with Ryan Bliss striking out or Tyler Locklear, especially if they're going to make plays and get singles, doubles, triples, just like we saw on the road trip with Ryan Bliss. You're going to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. I saw more production out of Ryan Bliss in 2 weeks than I did with Polanco all year. But again, it's political because he ended up spending the money to bring Polanco in. But at some point, you got to say, we fucked up. This guy isn't worth the money. And at the end of the day, if you want to win games, you got to make a hard decision and say, you know what? You're not an everyday player anymore. We'll put you as a platoon player. We'll put you at DH once in a while with Garver and maybe a Ty France. But we need these young guys in there. And of course, that's going to be a big ego hit to guys like Ty France and Polanco. But at one point or another, you have to have a youth movement and you have to have younger players instead of these slow old guys that aren't getting it done. Haniger today got a home run, which is great. Got us our one run, but he's like literally the worst rated outfielder in baseball based off the statistics. He needs to be replaced, right? Ty France, sometimes good, sometimes bad, right? Defense, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but the hitting, it's not really there. And then Polo, has been probably one of the biggest mistakes that the Mariners have made. And I don't really see him ever panning out and being a quality player for the Mariners. We had guys like Robinson Cano that we brought in and Nelson Cruz. I like the Nelson Cruz move. Didn't like Robinson Cano. He made some, plays for us. But Cano, we overpaid, and his best years were with the Yankees, and we never got the good Robinson Cano. And I feel Polanco is like Robinson Cano 2.0. He went for a bigger name guy that wasn't like big like Shohei Ohtani, but it was like a bigger name that we paid money for since Robinson Cano. And a lot of times it doesn't work out when you end up bringing in those guys from other teams. Just because they were good on their previous team, the Twins, doesn't mean they're going to be good on the Mariners. So I'd rather promote within. So Luis Castillo was supposed to pitch game number 1 for the Orioles on Tuesday, Kirby Wednesday, Gilbert Thursday for the game on July 4th that I'm going to. But they're going to start Castillo tomorrow to try to win the series, and then maybe Emerson Hancock on Tuesday to start off against the Orioles, unless they move up Kirby, Gilbert, and then maybe Bryce Miller, and then I might miss my opportunity of seeing Gilbert on the mound, but we'll see. Pitch is high and inside. 2-2 count to Luke Raley. Come on, Luke. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they need to make Luke Raley the everyday left fielder and Hollywood Josh Rojas the everyday third baseman. And once they make that move, we don't have to worry about those positions. They have Julio in center field. They don't touch it. That's exactly what they should be doing with Raley and Rojas. They're good hitters. They're good defenders. They have good attitude. Stop fucking platooning Dylan Moore and fucking Dominic Canzone. If you want them to go on the opposite side on right field for Haniger, fine. But stop fucking with the guys that are actually good players on the Mariners. We've lost at least 5 games by not having those guys play every day. Facts. I mean, we shouldn't have fans that can manage this team better than Scott Service. I mean, it's pretty clear. And I get it. You want to be able to give everyone a fair opportunity. But if you're giving guys that don't deserve to be an everyday player, an everyday player slot, this is what happens. Cole Emerson, Cole Young. The second one is Young. Then Lazaro Montes and Harry Ford. So you got 3 out of 4. So Cole Emerson, correct. Cole Young, Lazaro Montes, Harry Ford. Teoscar's an all-star. He's playing great. Hell, Jared Kelenic has got a better batting average and stats than anyone on our team this year. The only one that's been not so good is Eugenio Suarez. He's been struggling a little bit. There goes Luke Raley. 1 away. But again, sometimes when you go to a better team, Dodgers, Braves, where maybe you have more opportunities and you get a change of scenery, things get a little bit better. So it's going to take a special quality group to come together for the Seattle Mariner team to exceed expectations and make an ALCS or World Series. At this point where the team sits, depending on what we do at the deadline, we're going to be kind of like the Royals and Twins, where we're going to be playoff teams, but we're kind of pretenders. The Guardians, Orioles, and Yankees are the contenders in the American League. But if they have an injury, the Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Giancarlo Stanton, Garrett Cole, or, obviously Stephen Kwan and company, if they have some injuries, then the Royals and Twins and Mariners can jump on them and take advantage. But if those injuries don't happen, we're going to be the underdogs. We can still get it done, but those are going to be the three best as of today. And we'll see what happens after the All-Star break. If those are still the same three best, and then we're the other three. And then you got the Braves, you got the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Brewers, and then probably the Padres and Cardinals trying to battle it out for a wild card. And obviously the Cardinals and a few other teams in the Central will be moving back and forth. The Padres are better than I think any team in the Central besides the Brewers, but someone in that Central other than Milwaukee will try to get in with a wild card. Whether it's the Cardinals or not, we'll find out. 1-2 pitch from Alcala to France. 2-2 count. Come on, Ty. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Let's get to 50 likes. We're only at 10. 90 to go to hit the goal. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the seventh, 5-1 Twins. So with those four players that I mentioned, and then on top of that, Ryan Bliss and Tyler Locklear, they can start right now. They're good enough to replace France and Polanco. Yeah, I know some of the numbers, for France might be better than Locklear, but when I see Locklear in the box and when he plays defense, he's got some kind of swagger and aura about him and confidence that Ty doesn't. And, Ty was an all-star in 2022, got chubby and fat in 2023, got injured, and hasn't really been the same player since. And then with Polo, he's a liability on offense and defense, and I think Ryan Bliss has got a better attitude. He's got better speed around the bags. He can steal bases, and I just think he's a better player. So, once we end up making those hard decisions and, maybe making Polanco and France a DH player instead of an everyday player, maybe that's when we take the lead, That's what I would do if I was Seattle. Because if we're striking out with France and Polo anyways, you might as well have Locklear and Bliss get some experience so they can get better. And I actually have more confidence in the box with Locklear and Bliss, even though they're brand new, than I do with France and Polo. With France, I feel I can get a hit out of him, one out of every, 6 at-bats. With Polo, I feel like he's not going to do shit. Like every time Polo gets up, he's going to strike out, pop up, or ground out. And then when he gets a ground ball hit to him, more times than not, he fucks it up. So it's like, why the fuck did we pay him the money? Line drive. Another out by Ty France. But again, if we bring in a guy like Pete Alonso, he's not very good at defense either, like Ty, but he's a better hitter. So, I guess it's a give and a take. Next up, second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Oh for 2 with a line out and a strikeout. And I know Polo missed a month and a half with the injury. But again, he wasn't good when he was playing. He was batting fucking 150. He's batting 191, 5 homers, 14 ribbies. The last thing I need is for us to pay big money to have Julio Rodriguez numbers from some fucking idiot that we brought over from Minnesota that fucking sucks. Can't do anything right. There we go. He's like, I'll show you something right. About time, fucking Jorge. Nice job. I still don't like you, but nice double. There we go. You heard me. There you go, Polo. I still don't like you. You're on my shit list, number 1. But nice double. About time. And again, the inning that we have the most hits and runs are in the 7th inning, and lo and behold, Jorge Polanco wakes up. Nice hit. About 2 inches from being foul. Nice job. Ryan Bliss, you could argue, might be the most exciting Mariner to watch. Cal Raleigh is the most clutch hitter, on the Mariners. But as far as a player that's got speed, a guy that has a good attitude, a player that brings excitement to the game, like Julio brought, obviously when he was a rookie in 2022, I feel like Bliss gives you that as well. And on the road trip, not a lot of things went right, and at one point Ryan Bliss was 5 for 5 and was 5 for 7. We need guys like that on the roster. End of the 7th inning, 5-1 Minnesota. And of course, the next person that comes up can't get it done. What's new? Fucking Seattle. Come on. I don't know. There's not too many players that like I just don't like. You know, I never liked Alex Rodriguez, right? Never have, never will. Never will claim him as a Mariner. You know, obviously PEDs and all the cheating and whatnot. You know, he took the money to go to Texas. You know, had some good years with the Yankees, but he's a cheater. So enough said, right? But man, I just I wish the Mariners one day weren't so cheap, and we could actually get guys that would be a good fit for this team. And instead of paying big money, for these positional guys, we have those in the farm system. Use the money, for Polanco and Garv. You should have used that money and brought guys in from the bullpen. Try to find the best sixth inning pitcher. Find the best seventh inning pitcher. And even if you have to pay that guy like 4 years for $40 million, something crazy, but if they end up being great, that's more valuable to a team than bringing in a guy like Garv and Polanco and getting numbers like we're getting right now. You're overpaying for a guy that was good on the previous team, the Twins for Polo, Garv on the Rangers, and we haven't got our money's worth. Not even close. On a A to F, level on grading, you could argue both guys are like a D. Again, I have more confidence in the guys in the farm system and single A, high A, double A, and triple A than those guys. What does that tell you? It tells you that these guys aren't it. So hopefully one day we'll spend big money on the bullpen and we can just bring up guys. And plus, it's better to bring up guys within your own team than trading for a guy sometimes or paying for a guy from another team. Top of the eighth, 5-1, Minnesota. Pitches outside. 2-1 count. Uh-oh, we got Sauce in there. You know what happens when Sauce comes in? Not good. When Sauce needs one out, right? If it's like the bottom of the seventh or eighth inning and he needs one out, he's good. But if he needs 2 outs or more or starts at the beginning of an inning, he is fucking terrible. I hate to be so harsh, but I have to be real, right? We have to keep it honest. Pitches outside. 2-2 count. Balls and 2 strikes to Carlos Santana. Two-two pitch. Pitches low and inside. 3-2 count. Let's try to get to 50 likes, baby. Chopper. And he's safe. All right, we hit 50. There we go. Shout out to all the people that were watching on Twitter/X and YouTube. Let's try to get to 55 before the stream ends. Shout out to everyone watching. Appreciate you. 63 people in the building. Mariners had a power outage, so I'm going to switch it over to the Twins broadcast temporarily until they get the scoreboard fixed and they get their graphics on the screen set up properly. The game is obviously in Minnesota on MLB Network and on Root Sports. Top of the eighth, runner at first, 0-1 count to Max Kepler. Big swing and a miss, 0-2 count. Yeah, you know what? I miss Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. I miss Teoscar. And even though Kelenic, kicked the cooler and was a little immature, kind of a hothead, very passionate, and would lose his cool a lot, I miss those 3 players. I wish they were still on the team. I would rather have those 3 guys on the team than, Garv or Polo. But the one guy that I do like a lot, obviously, the Luke Raley for Jose Caballero trade for the Rays. That one we won. That was a solid trade. And then also the Paul Sewald trade was an A. We got Hollywood Josh Rojas, Ryan Bliss, and Dominic Canzone. And even though Dominic Canzone is inconsistent, he's likable. So it's like you want him to be better, but he's a little bit more likable than some of the other players that have been failing on the Mariners. So, but again, he doesn't deserve to be an everyday player. But, you know, he could be a rotational guy. Maybe have Dominic Canzone be the DH. Maybe find a player like that, you know. But again, there's a lot of guys that are playing that maybe need to be a DH and not an everyday player. Ty France, Mitch Haniger, Jorge Polanco, all could be a DH and not an everyday player, making room for Tyler Locklear at first, Ryan Bliss at second, and someone new at third, or someone new at right field. Have Hollywood Rojas at third every day, Rayleigh every day in left field. You know, we need to figure out our best players and have those guys playing. City Connects. I've looked at quite a few of the City Connect jerseys on a post this morning, and I feel that a lot of them look decent and stuff. I'll have to go back and look, you know, at the post to look at some of the, you know, different options for the City Connects and whatnot. But I like the Mariners City Connects, and I feel that most of the jerseys on the City Connects are pretty good. You know, they're pretty stylish. Padres might have the best ones overall, but I like the Mariners, and a few of the other teams got pretty solid ones as well. Yeah, but also Teoscar is benefiting, you know, Mookie's out now, but playing with Mookie, playing with Freddie, playing with Shohei Ohtani, you know, and not having to be like the number one guy. There we go. Nice punch out. 2 away. Next up, 2 for 3 with a run and 4 RBIs, the killer of the Mariners, center fielder Byron Buxton. Sauce is coming out. He's like, I didn't give up anything. Well, you know, traditionally you're terrible, and look how pissed he is. Like, you don't get to complete games, bro. You're not going to complete the inning. You're not reliable. It's like, what would make you think that after a guy that has an RBI and then a 3-run homer, and you're one of the most least trustworthy bullpen guys, why would we keep you in there? Why? We want to give up another 2-run blast and have it be 7-1 when we go into the 9th inning? I mean, come on, Sauce, be real. Sauce swearing and getting all mad, you know, that he didn't get to complete the inning. You're the last guy that we would want fucking up against Buxton at this point. Fuck. The chances of us coming back are not good. I would say the most that we would be able to get is probably 3 runs. We're down 5-1 right now. You know, we could maybe get it to 5-3, but I don't think that we're going to come back today, and then we hopefully can get the dub tomorrow to win the series. So that's just me being honest. Candace in the building. What's good? Bob Slots in the building. What's good? Yeah, a Tommy Pham type of player. I mean, I just want hitters, you know. One day, I hope that we could get a player like a Stephen Kwan or a Luis Arise. Like, the Twins are dumb. How did the Twins let Arise go? And then the Marlins had him, and then he let him go. And then now he's on the Padres. Luis Arise is like a guy that can bat 300 to 400. Why would you let a player like that go? That's the type of guy that you pay big money for, and you keep him there forever, you know? Right now, those are the 2 best hitters in baseball, and Kwan normally isn't this good. But Luis Arise, this has like been the 3rd year where he's been fucking top notch, you know, and he's got like Ichiro Suzuki type of discipline. And it doesn't matter where Arise is, Minnesota, Miami, San Diego, you know, he's going to be great wherever he goes. That's the quality of a great hitter. Doesn't matter what team he's on, he's going to produce wherever he's at. Try to get to 55 or 60 likes, baby. We got 61 people in the building. 51 likes, 9 more to get to 60. And hopefully we get a couple goats to come through to show some love. We're only at 10. We need 90 to go. Oh, great. Bizzardo is in. Even worse than Saucedo. Fuck. But if you bring Bizzardo in and he only needs 1 out, he might be able to get out of this. Another bullpen guy that I don't like. Yeah, we don't have the money for Ohtani, bro. You know, Ohtani, you're paying $250 million, $300 million, $400 million, $500 million. I mean, if we were going to pay Ohtani, that would be more than our whole entire payroll. And the Mariners are one of the cheapest teams in baseball. That never was going to be an option. You know, obviously we have a big Japanese following, but you know, he would have been more likely to stay on the Angels or join a team like the Yankees or Dodgers where they have the big money. Seattle was never an option, unfortunately. But at least we dodged a bullet for Blake Snell. He's got Northwest ties, and he didn't play in spring, obviously training, and he hasn't been good. So we could have, paid big money for Blake Snell and got fucked. So at least we dodged a bullet with that player. But, one day, maybe we will spend some money. But again, we have to spend money at the right spots. Bullpen guys that pitch in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. That would be where we spend big money, not worrying about guys like Polanco and Garv, and being cheap and bringing them in, thinking they're going to be the guys that are going to get us to the World Series, and then having them both grade out as a D so far this season. And you got guys in AAA and in AA that could possibly be better players than those guys now. Well, at one point, they had Japanese ownership. They had Nintendo, right, the famous video game brand, and then a few of these higher-ups. But it's not like your team, LA Lou, where you got like 10 millionaires, Magic Johnson included, where you can pool your money in together, and then you can end up building a championship contender. Whoa. Bizzardo behind Buxton's head. Jesus Christ. Nice pitching by Bizzardo. Can't even pitch to the catcher, and it goes 5 feet behind the batter's head. Saucedo, Bizzardo. Shit, if we could end up having like Phil Knight, end up buying the Blazers and buying the Seahawks and actually spending money, or some rich millionaire, but again, it seems like the ownership is 54%. They want to do the bare minimum and have the players overachieve, and then they can take the credit for all the profits, But again, if you want to be able to get to a World Series or ALCS or win, you're going to have to do more, And hopefully one day the Mariner organization will realize that, and maybe they will. Maybe it's this year. Maybe they'll, pull the trigger on a Pete Alonso, Luis Robert Jr., or Vlad or Bo Bichette, or maybe we'll go for lower guys like Brent Rooker or Brian De La Cruz. Popped up. 10 hits for the Twins, only 5 for the Mariners, and that's not going to get it done. We have a terrible record when we have 3 runs or less. It's like 5 wins and 40 losses, and we're pacing for that again. So. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter that you're not number 1 in payroll, but the Dodgers are always going to have money. They're always going to spend. They're always going to be a contender like the Yankees. As long as they don't have serious injuries, those 2 organizations will spend money. They'll bring in the players to keep the fan base happy and to keep everybody happy. They're trying to win it all. They might not win it all. They might have some years where they win 100 to 115 games and then choke in the playoffs. But again, at some point, they're going to win. Like with this Shohei Ohtani era, you would assume while Ohtani is there, you guys are probably going to win 1 to 3 championships, while Ohtani is there, and probably closer to the higher end. It'll probably be closer to 2 or 3 rather than 1. So 1 at the bare minimum. 2 to 3 is kind of what's expected. Anything above that would be like cherry on the top. So. Bottom of the 8th, 5-1 Twins. Let's see who's up here for the Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners, 1 for 2 with a K. Third baseman, Hollywood Josh Rojas. Batting second, 1 for 3, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And batting third, 0 for 3, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. And obviously getting better bullpen guys, injuries suck. And also, if the Mariners want to be contenders, we have to have like 2 or 3 players batting 300 or better. We have 0. At some point we need to be able to have at least 1 or 2. At least Hollywood Josh Rojas was batting 300 to 350 in the 9-hole at the beginning of the year. But again, when you have 0 300 hitters and you have barely anybody even sitting at 280, that's a problem. Our team is batting 200 to 220 as a team, and we were doing that last year. So, and I don't, you don't need to be batting 300 as a team. Even like the number 1 teams at the top, like the Astros, as far as hitting, are normally going to be somewhere between like 260 to 280, but most of the time 250 to 270 as the number one team in baseball for hitting. So you don't need to be at 300. You're not going to have average 300 as a team, but 250, 263, 265, 270, that's kind of where you want to be at, not 200, 205, or 220 as a team. That's the Mariners. Come on, Joe. Be better. I remember my first message on chat. These people think that they can just come in here. Not happening, bro. Bottom of the eighth, 5-1 Twins. Pitches outside, 2-0 count. See if the Mariner broadcast has got their scoreboard and everything up. Looks like everything's good now. Better than listening to the MLB network. 3-0 pitch. Dylan Moore has walked. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Nice job, Demo. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the eighth, runner at first, no outs, J.P. Crawford. And we don't need to tie it up this inning. Just try to get a run or two. Ideally, 2 runs in the eighth, 2 runs in the ninth, and then 1 run in the 10th, and we win 6-5. That's the formula, Try to get it to 5-3, so we only need 2 runs in the ninth to give us a chance. Let's go, M's. They're not going to be able to tie it up now, Mob Slots. Nice try, though. I mean, if you're already playing 8 innings and you have 5 hits for the game, how the fuck are we going to get 4 runs this inning? When we have 5 hits total through 7.5 innings, 8 innings, not going to happen. I mean, we might be able to get 1 or 2, and every once in a while we will have a big 4-run inning. But, I mean, does anything give you any type of inclination that it's going to happen here? I don't know. Really depends on the pitching here from Okert. If the pitching is ass, that's going to be really helpful for us. But again, when you're like one of the worst hitting teams in baseball, it's tough to gain that confidence that you can actually bring runs in and move guys over when you haven't really proven that you can do it on a consistent basis. Like a flash in the pan. Every once in a while, we can have a big inning, but if the pitching stinks, that's going to give us the best shot. He starts walking people like this, or if he starts hitting people. So if we can get a pitcher that starts shitting the bed like Okert right here, this is what's going to give us a shot. Yeah, but you're going from based on a betting aspect, not a fan aspect. You're just trying to win a fucking parlay. Not necessarily trying to actually root for the Mariners to win. It's different. Three-one pitch. Big swing and a miss for JP. And when JP does well, Julio does well. When JP is struggling, Julio struggles. Come on, baby. Let's go, JP. There it goes. Struck him out. 1 away. Next up, 0 for 3, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. And for a player of Julio's caliber, it's ridiculous that we feel that he's going to choke rather than make a big play. It's gotten to that point for a lot of Mariner fans where, we don't really have a whole lot of faith that he's going to hit a home run, let alone get a single, double, or triple. Like, we almost have to pray that he gets walked or gets hit by a pitch. And then every 1 out of every maybe 12 at-bats, he'll get something going. But, the confidence level in Julio has drastically decreased from his rookie year, last year, to this year. I mean, 0 for 3 is fucking unacceptable for a guy that might be a Hall of Famer one day. Julio? 0 for 4. 2 away. Next up, the most clutch hitter on the Mariners in the 7th inning and beyond, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. And obviously, I like Cal Raleigh batting left-handed rather than right-handed. But even him on the opposite side, it's like you feel that, you know, he has a better chance to come up with a big play than anyone on the team. And he's not going to do it at every at-bat in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. You know, but he has single-handedly won us more games than any player on the Mariners this year, and he's the most clutch hitter in the 7th inning and beyond since Ichiro. So it's been a long time since we've had a clutch hitter like that. And Cal is, you know, RBI'd games, you know, walk-off games. Good eye. 2-1 count to Cal Raleigh. Two-one pitch. Popped up foul. Four more likes to get to 55. We're at 51. 52. Appreciate you. 3 more to go to 55. 2-2 pitch. Cal on the wall. See? You know, everyone wants to talk Julio. Cal is out. Fuck. Cal ended up going for that extra bag and then got called out, but at least he ended up getting the hit. You know, again, I have no confidence in Polo and a majority of the lineup, and you know, but Cal is one of those guys I can count on. He shouldn't have went for second there. So he was safe. I think he dived underneath the tag, it looks like. He's safe. He's safe. Safe, baby. Safe. I was about to say Cal has no real reason to be running from first to second like that, but again, when we're at the end of the game, they need to review that. It says the end of the 8th inning, but he looked safe. That should still be the 8th inning. Again, you know, the initial tag, he went underneath it, and then once the tag was applied, his foot was already in at second base. They need to rewind that and go back to that. Instead of saying that we're going to the top of the 9th here. Cal Raleigh was safe. Shouldn't have ran to second, but again, you know, Cal Raleigh is clutch. Julio is not. And I hope one day that we can say that Julio and Cal can be clutch. But again, you know, every big play that we don't make, you know, ends up getting magnified more and more when we leave guys on base. But golly. Hopefully they come back and they review that because he was safe there. But Byron Buxton has been the MVP. And after he hit that home run, you know, because the way the Mariners flow, it's usually, you know, we get 0 runs or we get 1, right? That's one part, and we get our ass kicked, right? We get 3 or less, and then we only end up winning a handful of those games. And if we end up going into extras like yesterday, winning 3-2, that was great. But in most cases, we go 3 runs or less. We only win like 4 or 5 times and have like 30 losses, right? So really the magic number is going to end up being, you know, 4 runs or more. It used to be 5, but so now they're going into the top of the 9th and we're not going to challenge that, or what's going on here? Challenge that fucking play. How was that play not challenged by Scott Service there? He was clearly safe. I mean, initially when you saw the play live, he looked out, right? But when he slid underneath, that should have been challenged. What the hell are we doing? Stupid. Why didn't we challenge? He was safe. He slid in, and initially the tag was missed. He slid underneath it, and when the tag was applied, the foot went into the bag. Fucking idiot, Scott Service. What are you doing? Like the one time that he's actually safe at second, then he doesn't challenge. What a moron. Jesus Christ. It's not like we were going to come back anyways, but we might have been able to get to 5-3 by the time this game was over, and maybe we would have gotten to 5-2 that inning. Dumb. We got Buzzardo in there still. Jesus Christ. But the game was over as soon as Buxton hit that 3-run jack. You know, the feeling, you know, like I said, if you watch the Mariners enough, you know, every once in a while you'll get surprised by an amazing chaotic inning where we end up getting 1, 2, 3, 4 innings, 4 runs in the 6th, 7th, or 8th, or 9th, or extras. And you're like, wow, what a comeback. You know, but then there's other games where you just get kind of beat up and then you already know they're looking towards tomorrow. JP, one away. Next up for the Twins, 1 for 3 with a K, left fielder Austin Martin. I don't know. You have to look that up on Google, John, and tell us to see if one Paez is related to another. I mean, even though Cal was being aggressive, I mean, he was safe. I mean, Cal's what, 4 for 4 so far this season in stolen bags? He doesn't get called out that often. And, you know, obviously getting that runner in scoring position late in the game is crucial. Wish he would have just hit the home run there, and he almost did, but it's like we got to have more than one clutch player on the team late in games. It has to be more than just Cal Raleigh. And then imagine if Cal has the day off. Then who's it going to be, you know? But, you know, with all the complaining and with all of the bitching and moaning, right, we're still 10 games above 500. You know, we're 28-12 at home. You know, we still got a 4 or 5 game lead, you know, against the Astros and Rangers. It is dwindling, you know, but again, that's what happens when you can't hit on a regular basis and your team is batting 200 to 205 to maximum 220 for a team. That's not good. We need better hitters and we need better bullpen players, period. 2-2 pitch. Martin, sit down. Next up for the Twins, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, Willie Castro. If you look at all the other American League teams that are better than us or, you know, close to us, they all can hit. Royals can hit, Twins can hit, Guardians can hit, Orioles can hit, Yankees can hit. Mariners are the only one that can, as far as being considered a good team. And I appreciate that we got great pitching. But I want to have a complete team. I don't want to be one-sided anymore. Even on the National League teams, right? Braves, Dodgers, Phillies, Brewers, right? Padres, they can all hit. Top of the ninth, 5-1 Twins. 1-2 pitch. Lizardo to Castro. Broken bat. Foul ball. 3 more likes to get to 55. I mean, you got to think we suck at hitting. We suck in our bullpen. We're 10 games above 500. Most of the time, the Mariners in most seasons, we would be in third place behind the Astros and Rangers, or the Rangers and the Astros. So with all that being said, they're not having that good of a year. They're starting to catch up to us. So, I mean, imagine once the bullpen gets better and then we actually have a couple 300 hitters, we might be able to go to a World Series and fucking win it all. The upside for the Mariners is so bright. It's like we only have like 25% of the puzzle put together. And so we have a lot of ways to go. But once we start filling in the gaps, this team could really be a World Series contender in the next 5 to 10 years. That's exciting. We've never even been to a World Series. And realistically, even if we went to a World Series in the next 5 to 10 years, we would probably lose, to the Braves, the Dodgers, the Phillies, like one of those type of teams. But again, maybe the second time we go, maybe that's when we win it all. But we just need to be able to get there for the first time. Nice punch out by Bizzardo. All right, let's go to the bottom of the ninth. All we need is 4 runs. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh man, I mean, that's a tough question. You need both. You need hitting, you need starting pitching, and then you need bullpen pitching. Because there's been a lot of times when you can hit and then you're up 5-1 or 5-0, right? Then the bullpen guy comes in, and then all of a sudden another bullpen guy comes in, and another bullpen guy comes in, and that 5-0 lead that you had in the 6th inning, and then you end up losing 6-5. And you're like, what the fuck happened? I should have won, right? So I don't know if there's one that's more important than the other, because again, you could say starting pitching is really important, but what about the bullpen? It feels like bullpen pitching and hitting sometimes is better than starting pitching. As crazy as that sounds. I mean, of course, you don't want to be giving up 5 runs or 8 runs within the first 6 innings, but as long as the pitching is halfway decent, it feels like more games are blown with the mid relievers than the starters. Starters typically don't blow it unless it's your 4-hole or 5-hole pitcher or someone that you're bringing up. Usually you blow games by the bullpen, and then the guys obviously starting 1 through 9 that can't fucking hit. So, but I would probably say pitching, because you got to have the good starting pitching and the bullpen. Look at the Mariners. We're out of all the teams that have an above 500 record, we are the worst hitting team, right? By far, but we're 10 games above 500, and we haven't really figured it out yet. Adding 200 to 205 to 220 as a team, terrible, right? But we still might be able to get first place in the American League West. So, I would say pitching is more important overall than hitting. But at the end of the day, you can't get 3 runs or less thinking that you're going to win every fucking game 3-2 or 2-1. It's just not realistic. So. Now, Rangers are only 9.5 back, Astros 5. So, again, a couple tough series, anything can happen. If we only win 1 game out of 3 against the Twins, 1 game out of 3 against the Orioles, 1 game out of 3 against the Blue Jays, and then those teams get hot, right? Then, Ray Charles had to be very quick right there, as fast as he could, knowing that he would get banned. All right, next up for the Mariners here, Mitch Garver. .173 average, 10 homers, and 31 ribbies. So even though, he's been a disappointment for the Mariners as well, he's the backup catcher. And even though 173 is terrible, the 10 homers and 31 ribbies is much better than Jorge Polanco. So if I had to choose between Polanco and Garv, I'm definitely going Garv. Garv actually can make a play once in a while, even though Polanco ended up getting, a double. We didn't get anything from it, but still, I think the worst contract and player on the Mariners that's playing every day is Polanco. We should either make him a DH player or send him to AAA and bring up Tyler Locklear and then make Ryan Bliss the everyday second baseman. Do it already, damn it. Yeah, But 3 runs or less is not going to win you too many games. You can't expect to win games 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. You know, you've got to be able to get 4 runs and above here and there. I mean, unless like the starting pitching was pitching all 9 innings back like in our day, LA Lou, and even back before I was born. You know, like when we had Nolan Ryan in that particular era, when you were going all 9 innings, you know, the bullpen guys didn't exist. You know, it's like Nolan Ryan was pitching from pitch 1 to the end of the game. Even if it went 10, 11 innings, he was going the whole way. That's what makes it so crazy that he pitched from 1968 to 1993, never had a Tommy John. I truly believe Nolan Ryan is an alien. I don't think he's human. You know, it's unbelievable to pitch in 4 decades and never blow your arm out. And you're pitching from inning 1 to inning 9 or later and still having velocity in the 9th inning and the 10th inning. Could you imagine pitching 111 pitches and that 111th pitch is 100 miles an hour still? Unreal. Good genetics out of that Ryan family. There goes Luke Raley. 2 away. Garver, see you later. Rayleigh, see you later. Next up, 0 for 3 with a K, Ty France. And it looks like we're going to end up the final 5-1. Hopefully we can end up getting more than 3 runs tomorrow, and we can find a way to get the series win. We play at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and hopefully Cal Raleigh doesn't have the day off because we're going to need him. Hopefully they decide to use him tomorrow. And then we have a day off on Monday, and then we play the Baltimore Orioles in a 3-game set. And on July 4th in the rubber match, I will be there. Bottom of the 9th, 5-1 Minnesota. That one chopped foul. 9 to the count, 0-2. Got to get the win tomorrow. We got to be able to win the series at home. 1-2 pitch from Jax to France. Pitch is outside, 2-2 count. And there it is, strike 3. Final score, Minnesota 5, Seattle Mariners 1. Tough, man. And again, the MVP of the day was Byron Buxton. Hopefully we end up winning tomorrow, but I am doing the game tomorrow. I've already made the thumbnail. You know, obviously we got, I'll give you a quick preview here. Obviously we usually use the evening look, obviously with the thumbs here. And the thumb tomorrow, we got to put Cal Raleigh on it. And we're obviously playing in the afternoon, so we got the different background there in Seattle. And hopefully we can find a way to get the dub tomorrow. So I will be live tomorrow at 1 o'clock Pacific, and hopefully we can end up winning the series and bounce back from this horrible loss. Final score, Minnesota Twins 5, Seattle Mariners 1. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as YouTube. We got to 50+ likes. I appreciate you guys very, very much. We only hit on 10 on the donos, so a little bit underwhelming there, but hopefully tomorrow we'll make up for it. And I appreciate every single one of y'all. And I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.